Well, the fans have taken to him, so much so that Robbie Williams has moved to jump on the bandwagon, recording a social media version of a chant that bemoans the reigns of Mourinho and Conte as boring and dull, and pays homage to Postecoglou instead. Is he the one who can end the long trophy drought? It does feel like they've been waiting a millennium. Fulham have never won a major trophy, and tonight they filled what could only be described as a hybrid team. 6 changes. Tottenham changed 9 from the weekend, but has Postecoglou done something stupid? By leaving out some of his big hitters, has he handed the impetus to Fulham? Let's go through the two teams, starting off with the home side. Rodak in goal, Kenny Tete, Diop, Ream and Robinson the back four. The midfield duo of Reed and Palhinha is hard to break down, with De Cordova and Traore on the flanks and Kearney behind youngster Rodrigo Muniz in attack. Tottenham have Fraser Forster in goal, Emerson Royale is at right back, Ben Davies at left back, Davinson Sanchez and Nicky van der Ven are the two centre halves, with Emile Højbjerg and Skip holding in midfield, Lo Celso in the 10. The returning Manor Solomon is on the right hand side, Perisic on the left, and Richarlison, looking for his first goal since April, is leading the line tonight. Conditions wet here in West London, and it was interesting watching Ange Postecoglou stalk from the tunnel as the players came out in a big thick stadium jacket, and I suppose he's used to it being a little bit iffy in September, because down under sometimes that can be quite a cold time of year. It's autumnal, but as we approach the end of summer here, unfortunately this is probably the best it gets, I'm afraid, pal. Yeah, he wouldn't quite have expected it, would he? He looked up at the heavens, he saw the rain coming down. The pitch has been heavily watered pre-match. It didn't really need it, did it? Because the rain is starting to team down here. No, our referee tonight is Josh Smith. There's no VAR tonight, and as the two teams line up in the centre circle getting ready for the pre-match formalities, it's probably the time to tell you that the new Spurs third kit is on show tonight, Matt. I can't tell you what that colour is. It's okay, as he said, it's disgusting. Well, I'm going to go for dirty pink, is it? I'm going pink. I'm colourblind. Right, so that's not helpful, is it? That's not particularly helpful. I'm going pink. That would be my guess. Yeah, it's sort of a really dusty, dark, murky pink with sort of black, thick trim down the sides. I must tell you that it's available from Friday on the Spurs shop. I got an email about it earlier on today. But you can't read the numbers or the names on the back. Do you know, this is something that has been a bugbear of mine for quite some time. When you get a striped shirt, you get a number on the back of a striped shirt and you can't see what number it is as well. It's something that needs to be done to help us, help the supporters as well. I mean, and help those that are colourblind, because 1 in 12 men are colourblind. Did you know that? I think it's important that you point that out, Matt. And I remember actually we were doing a game on ITV back in January, and we encouraged the team to change their kit so it was more obvious to colourblind people, because as you say, the statistics are quite high. They are. We're underway live on Talksport. We're at Craven Cottage with Fulham kicking from right to left in the first half in those white shirts with black shorts, attacking the Putney end, and Tottenham in that rather iffy third kit, shooting from left to right towards the Hammersmith end. 0-0 the score. We played just a couple of seconds, and a first touch for Fraser Forster, who launches the ball into the evening sky here as it goes up over the halfway line. On Talksport currently, they're going round the grounds in the Carabao Cup with Adrian Durham, but here on Talksport 2 we're live for full commentary of Fulham against Tottenham, and the ball is deep inside the Tottenham half with Davinson Sanchez, who rolls it up to halfway. Manor Solomon, who was here on loan last season, signed on a free from Shakhtar Donetsk in the summer for Tottenham Hotspur, plays the ball back into midfield, and Skip has it now just short of the halfway line. Yeah, already on the right. Already with Tottenham, the two full-backs inverted, Emerson Royale and Ben Davies. Emerson Royale can do that. I saw him do it against Brentford and scored on the opening day of the season. Ben Davies will be interesting to see how he copes with playing that role. He can play left-sided of a back three, he can left back, left wing back, but in central midfield, that'll be new to him. It's something that Destiny Udogie has done quite well in the early part of the season. He got up high against Bournemouth to help them score the opening goal of the game. This side could be arguably the pick of the second round ties, all Premier League affair, which means something for both. Spurs have had most of the ball so far, 90 seconds played. You're listening to Talksport 2. And Davinson Sanchez looks to try and play the ball forward, then hesitates, plays it infield to Hotspur, and then Hotspur gets the return from Sanchez, but he just dawdles on the ball. He's a little bit slow, that from Tottenham, the build-up there, and it invited the challenge from Decordova-Reid, who puts it out for a throw in right side.
Well, they were getting a little bit frustrated. They're trying to entice Fulham on, and Fulham weren't playing game. They were just dropping off and saying to Tottenham, you've got to play through us, and they were unable to. And in the end, they played a short ball into Hotspur, and it was a little bit tight.
Ball thrown up towards Richarlison. 30th of April was the last time he scored a goal for Tottenham Hotspur. Scored 3 goals last season. He scored 3 goals at the World Cup for Brazil. Tim Ream, who has the ball on his edge of his own penalty area with his hair tied back in a bun. He's back in the team after suspension. They switch the play to the right side. Eventually it moves up the pitch towards Harrison Reed. Adama Traore cuts it back. And now it's at the heart of midfield with João Palhinha, who looks up and switches the play from right to left. A high raking ball which is taken out of the sky by Anthony Robinson. I thought was very good actually in the game against Arsenal at the weekend. He did a very good job on Saka.
He's a proper athlete, Anthony Robinson. There's not too many full-backs that can get up and down as much as he can throughout a game. He's got great energy.
Yeah, he really has. And it was his 100th Premier League start for Tottenham for Fulham at the weekend. And boy, has he been a good signing for them, Anthony Robinson. I think his dad was a USA sprinter, I think, at one stage. I think that's where the genetics come from. But he qualifies for the United States through his dad, that is for sure.
Let's put it this way, I wouldn't like to play right wing up against him.
He is the left back for Fulham tonight. And it is dark skies overhead, but not quite nightfall yet. The floodlights on because the sky is grey and the rain is teeming down in West London. Fulham's shape was very good, I thought, in that game against Arsenal, and they've started in a similar vein tonight, just making sure they're set up well and not falling into any traps. But they've won the ball back high here, and Muniz is trying to go through the centre. He's challenged by his fellow South American in Davinson Sanchez right on the edge of the penalty area, and the ball runs off into the hands of Fraser Forster. Be interesting to see what he brings to the party, Rodrigo Muniz.
Yeah, it will. Tom Kearney playing in behind him. He's trying to start the press. But yeah, it's a big job, isn't it, to try and fill the shoes of Alexander Mitrovic. Carlos Vinicius is on the bench, as he was at the weekend. As to Raul Jimenez, who started the game against Arsenal. But it's a great opportunity for him to really stake a claim.
Raul Jimenez, I think, played quite well in the game on Saturday, and he had one acrobatic effort which was close to opening his Fulham account. He was the player who had the most shots on target last season in the Premier League without scoring. Ball is sent long and high by Fulham down the right side. Mickey van der Ven manages to get it out of play. Tottenham win it back left full-back position, but it goes out by the corner flag and it'll be away for a throw-in over on the far side. You're listening to Talksport. Exeter 1, Stevenage 0, Birmingham 0, Cardiff City 1, Ruben Colwell with a goal. Luton 1-0 up at home against Gillingham at Kenilworth Road, and Stoke lead Rotherham by a goal to nil. Bradford City scored a penalty away at Wrexham. Tyler Smith with a goal after 3 minutes, and Swansea 1 up against Bournemouth. The latest scores from the Carabao Cup second round, live tonight on Talksport 2. And the goals as they go in over on Talksport right now. Not too much in the game so far, and Tottenham haven't really been able to get out of their own half. They've had a lot of possession inside the sort of the deep final third, their defensive third. And as you say, Fulham haven't been playing ball. No, they haven't. They're not leaving their stations, leaving their positions. What they are making sure they do is one of the centre-backs is getting tight on Richarlison. They can't get involved in the game as yet. Either Diop or Tim Ream are really going right into midfield with him when he's trying to get on the ball. Here is Van der Ven into central midfield, and Lo Celso coming a little bit short. There's a little heavy touch by Davinson Sanchez. Kearney spotted that, tried to hunt him down, and Sanchez just about recovered, but there was a nervous moment there for the Colombian. Yeah, it was. There's a couple of those. Tom Kearney putting him under pressure. Touch just got away from him. He's played a loose pass now as well. And it's picked off by Anthony Robinson, who fancies chances down the left-hand side. He's rapping and he gets beyond Sanchez. Produces a cross into the box at the far post, headed down and into the side netting. And Rodrigo Muniz got up well and headed the ball down. I think maybe the flag went up over on the far side anyway. But it was a brilliant sprint from Anthony Robinson down the left-hand side, intercepting the ball before it could reach Manol Solomon. Sanchez's pass was sloppy. He capitalised, produced a cross towards the back post, and it was into the side netting from the Brazilian forward. Well, we've already talked heavily about Anthony Robinson's athleticism and his ability to get up and down that left flank. He does superbly. Reads the loose pass from Davinson Sanchez, drives forward, beats him for pace, and delivers the perfect cross, lifting it to the far post.
And Muniz on the rise. Unfortunately for him, Mickey van der Ven did really well. Got quite close enough to make it a more difficult header for him and narrow the angle. But a great opportunity early on.
Plymouth Argyle lead Crystal Palace by 1-0. Ben Waine with the goal after 6 minutes. It's 0-0 here, but Fulham have had the best chance of the game so far. We played 7 minutes and the rain continues to team down. Ben Davies is in possession in front of the dugouts over on the far side. Ange Postecoglou already on his feet, wanting a little bit more from his team. Across it goes to Højbjerg, who takes a couple of steps forward into the centre circle. A little bit tentative from Tottenham, who have made 9 changes tonight. Lo Celso fires it forward. Richarlison can't stay on his feet. And then Skip tries to play it back to Richarlison, and eventually Tim Ream will run it out of the penalty area on this near side, and Anthony Robinson will twirl away with ease past Manor Solomon and then gets the ball up to Muniz, who chests it down. He fires it out towards the right, and Traore with his rapid speed goes powering forward into the right wing position. Muniz has got his hand up in the centre. Traore delivers the cross. It hits the back of the first defender, so he volleys it back into the near post, and it's away by Højbjerg, who's filling in at the back and manages to get the ball clear for Tottenham Hotspur. But those pacey wingers that they've got, the pace of Robinson and the pace of Traore, causing problems already for Tottenham.
Yeah, and in transition, because of the way Tottenham are set up with those 2 fullbacks inverted, when they have the ball, there is space in those wide areas. I said it in that very first game against Brentford, that the best teams can really cause Tottenham a problem, because if Tottenham are going forward and those 2 fullbacks are high up, there's so much space in those wide areas, and Fulham have got plenty of pace to exploit that.
Fulham have had a respectable start to the season, picking up 4 points from their opening 3 matches, which has left them in 11th position in the embryonic table. Ange Postecoglou celebrated his 58th birthday with a victory down at Bournemouth, which was a rare away win for Tottenham recently. It's only the second in 12 games. They aren't very good on the road, or haven't been historically, and they've lost out here again because Palhinha has nabbed the ball once again and found its way to Adama Traore. Palhinha can't keep it in Fulham possession, but it's won back over on the far side by Kenny Tete. There was a foul there by Lo Celso as Kenny tried to escape, and our referee gets hold of the situation, Josh Smith, and awards a free kick 10 yards back from the edge of the penalty area.
A bit of frustration actually from Lo Celso, because he had, for the very first time, decent possession in the number 10 role, and got the ball taken off him. He chased back, trying to make amends, and then gives away a silly free kick. He hasn't seen the ball enough, has he, Lo Celso? Him and Richarlison, Tottenham have just not been able to get the ball into them. That's a bit of frustration, I think, for Ange Postecoglou. The fact is they've had quite a bit of possession early on, but they've not been able to get it into their forward players.
Fulham 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0, live on Talksport 2, and the free kick from the right side is hesitated over, then Reed delivers the ball towards the far post. Diop caught out, heads the ball against the defender, and the offside flag went up. And the offside flag went up because they took too long to take the kick. They sort of hesitated. One ran towards the ball, then the other went, then the other ran again. And because of the delay and the hesitation, all of the forwards have started to make their runs a little bit too early, and as a result, Diop found himself offside.
Yeah, done it twice. Harrison Reed went to play it, then Tom Kearney didn't, and Harrison Reed eventually played it. I don't think even the Fulham attackers thought that, knew when that ball was coming in.
Well, Tottenham struggling, playing out from the back, and Decortiva Reed has won it and then shot from 25 yards. It goes over the top of the crossbar, and it goes out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. 2 goals in 2 games for Sasa Kalajdzic. Wonder if he meant this one. Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Blackpool 0, the latest scoreline from Molineux. And Sasa Kalajdzic, well, they need goals, don't they, Wolverhampton Wanderers, and maybe he can be the one to provide it. And Tottenham almost conceding a goal there, because once again playing out from the back, Fraser Forster taking too long to dispatch, and Reed almost put it beyond him.
He didn't have time to have a touch. I mean, the ball came back to him from Davinson Sanchez. He had a touch and thought he had so much time. He didn't. He needed to hit this first time and deliver it long. And as it is, Harrison Reed really closes him down quickly.
That's been a feature of the game so far for Fulham, is the ability to be able to press Tottenham Hotspur when they choose to do so.
That's right, absolutely. They've been happy to sit off, haven't they, generally?
They're doing it now. And winning it back, Palhinha fighting for it, then Skip gets hold of it. Richarlison with a hefty tackle, loses out. Traore comes in and fights with Lo Celso. The ball spills to the left. Perisic plays it wide, and now Tottenham can come on the attack, and Ben Davies is careering forward. There's 1 or 2 waiting in the centre for a cross, but they've been held up because Tete has won the ball back over on the far side, and a free kick, and it's back with Fulham, who look up for the fight.
Yeah, they do. Oh yeah, we're talking about Spurs front players. Said Lo Celso hasn't had a kick, Richarlison hasn't had a kick, Perisic on that left hand side we've not mentioned, Solomon on the right we haven't mentioned. I mean, they've literally been playing it across the back four, using the goalkeeper as an extra man and not been able to penetrate Fulham.
Well, Spurs have changed their style a little bit from a team that were rather passive to a team that in the first few weeks of the season have been pretty aggressive, but it's Fulham who are being the aggressors in the opening exchanges here. We played nearly 12 minutes and it is 0-0, but Fulham have had the better of it, and Tottenham really haven't been able to find their rhythm because Tottenham haven't been allowed to find their rhythm by a Fulham side that are hunting in packs.
And they're hunting with intensity and pace. I think the pace of the game has been really good, actually, within the first 12 minutes. Tottenham thinking they're going to have plenty of time on the ball. That's not the case. As soon as that ball starts to go forward, Fulham are really snapping at their heels.
Kenny trying to lead the press now. The ball goes out to the far side. Nunez puts pressure on Van der Ven, and he plays the ball back into the feet of Fraser Foster, all clad in yellow tonight, in front of the Putney end away to our left-hand side. It's played into the feet of Emerson Royale, and then lifted out to the far side, and Perisic just about keeps it in, but Kenny Tete is so good, he goes in, nabs it, then sends it forward with purpose straight to Traore, gets past Davis and then charges forward, and he's faster than everyone, and he powers past two defenders, then tries to take on Van der Ven. Van der Ven actually is incredibly fast himself and kept pace with Traore there, which was pretty impressive, and the ball runs out of play and it's away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side.
That's a good race. That's a good race. And Tottenham will be pleased that Van der Ven's on that left-hand side of the back four, of the two centre-backs, should I say, because he has got the pace to keep where Traore. Ben Davis doesn't at left-back.
Well, but they've been beaten all over the pitch here at this moment in time, Tottenham. Every time a ball goes into one of their players and it's a 50-50 ball, it's a Fulham shirt that's emerging with it. And we've played 13 and a half minutes live on Talksport and it's still 0-0. The ball is out on the right with Harrison Reed into the penalty area. There wasn't anybody in the area, where he then placed the ball very quickly and sharply towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It was cleared away by Van der Ven, and it's out over on the far side, and it's away for a throw into Fulham.
Should say it's a great atmosphere as well inside Craven Cottage tonight. Looking away to our left-hand side, the Spurs fans have travelled in big numbers, haven't they? They've filled that left stand,
They absolutely have. They can't get in the other side because it's not all fully open, unfortunately, but the rest of the ground seems to be pretty full. The Fulham fans away to our right, pretty much full, apart from the flank seats in the Hammersmith end. But it's a lively start to the game here, live on Talksport 2. Fulham 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. And in front of the Riverside stand, over on the far side, with the ball in his hand, Dutchman Kenny Tete will take the throw in. He dealt with Martinelli pretty well on Saturday. 5 Premier League assists last season. Only Trent Alexander-Arnold, Robertson and Trippier produced more than Kenny Tete. Fraser Forster takes the touch again, but is comfortable enough to play the ball out despite pressure from Decordova-Reid, who was leading the press on that occasion, and it's cleared towards the far side. And Tottenham are able to get a brief bit of respite because there hasn't been much of that in the opening 15 minutes, Matt. What have they got to do to turn the tide here? Well,
somehow they've got to try and get Lo Celso and Richarlison and the two wide players, Solomon and Perisic, into the game. Whether that's deciding to bypass the press on occasion, particularly early on, and they've done it well there.
Lo Celso trying to chip the ball over the top, looking for Richarlison, who was darting in between the two centre-backs, but Ream read it and headed it sideways towards Diop, and then they managed to get it clear to the halfway line, Fulham. But Ange Postecoglou going mad because he wants his team to push up to the halfway line when they're in possession of the football, and they've only just done that, and they have the ball just left of centre. It's with Davis and back to Van der Ven.
And try and be more positive with their passing as well. Look forward. I think that's been a frustration for Ange Postecoglou. You see him pointing as if to say, like, try and play forward if you can. Okay, we might give it away. We might give it away playing at the back, the way they are doing at the moment.
Ben Davis turning and running into a little bit of traffic. The ball's been turned over by Decordova-Reid, and then Paulinho and Diop conspire to get the ball away. Diop plays it wide to Kenny Tete, who chips the ball down the right side, looking for Traore, who uses his rather extensive body to take the ball down. And then there's a challenge by Ben Davis, which stops Tom Kearney from progressing. And this is in the right corridor, about halfway inside Spurs territory, and that probably should be a yellow card.
Yeah, and there's the difference in the two teams. There's Fulham happily playing long, playing a 40-yard ball up to Traore. It's a long pass rather than just a long ball, hopeful ball, but it was into Traore and it bypassed Spurs' midfield. Spurs haven't done that at all. They haven't looked to play over the top at all.
So free kick to be taken, midway inside Spurs territory. Got a high line for Spurs, about 5 yards outside their own penalty area. Now Diop, who got round the back moments ago, is lurking with intent. It's chipped by Kearney towards Decordova-Reid, who's on the left corner of the penalty area. He takes it down, faces up Emerson Royale, goes back to Anthony Robinson, who left-footed, delivers across into the box. It's high and headed away by Lo Celso, back in by Reid, who helps it forward. Sanchez clear. Kearney gets some space and tries to jink his way through. They keep hold of it well in tight areas, and then Paulinho sends it wide to the far side, and it's kept in by Traore. Traore attacking the penalty area from the right side for Fulham. Delivers a left-footed cross this time towards Decordova-Reid. It's read by Emerson Royale, and he nudges the ball away into the right fullback position from where he can clear upfield towards Richarlison. But again, Ream gets there ahead of Richarlison, and they're just sharper.
Yeah, step ahead, aren't they? They're that little bit a yard quicker than Tottenham at the moment.
Reid does well to poke the ball out to the far side, and Traore gets towards the edge of the penalty area. He's got support from Kenny Tete on the right side, back to Traore in those blue boots, and now Paulinho, who's 10 yards back from the edge of the penalty area. It's into Diop, and then Fulham trying to keep the pressure on. Spurs chasing shadows at this moment in time. 18 minutes gone, goalless on Talksport 2. Robinson fancying his chances again, getting the better of two defenders and feeding Decordova-Reid. It runs loose, but again it's Paulinho who picks it up. Tottenham not being able to get a kick at this moment in time, and it really is a ragged display by Tottenham. They look like a team that have made 9 changes.
Yeah, 80 minutes into the game. Let me ask you, how many touches has Richarlison had?
3.
Honestly, if that. Honestly,
and one of those he fell over. He's not quite as comical as when he fell over on Saturday when he got the ball. But
no, but he's just not been involved again. I'm not blaming him. He's doing his best. He's trying to come short. He's trying to get off an option. Sometimes maybe it's a case of running in behind, trying to spin in behind that Fulham defence. He wants to come to feet all the time, but he's hardly had a kick.
Reading 1, Ipswich Town 0. Brandon Williams on his debut from Ipswich has scored an own goal. Here on the left-hand side is Kearney. Lovely little turn past one defender. Does it again. Beats Sanchez into the area. It's going to be an own goal off Van de Ven. Flicks into the air, and beyond Fraser Forster, it's an own goal from Tottenham. And Fulham take the lead, and it's a lead that they deserve. They've dominated the play. It may well have taken a flick off Van de Ven and then Perisic. Either way, it's an own goal which has put Fulham in front. Their fans celebrate, and Tottenham have conceded, and it's been coming.
It has been coming. Whilst Tottenham have probably had more possession, they've had more of the ball, it's all been inside their own half. Fulham have looked the more likely. I think Tom Kearney started the game really well. Really quick feet. He's manipulated it. He's got itself in half a yard inside the box to deliver a cross. There's a couple of efforts. It's Mickey Van de Ven initially who gets the first flick. Perisic on the line. He's desperately trying to keep it out. He can't. And it is a deserved lead because Fulham have been on the front foot. The ball's already over the line before Perisic can keep it out.
It's got to go down as a Van de Ven own goal, hasn't it?
It's a Van de Ven own goal. Brilliant work from Kearney. He's got himself into some really good areas. He's caused Tottenham lots of problems. He's looked to get on the half turn and be positive and play forward. And he dribbles himself into the area, delivers a decent cross alongside the 6-yard box. And you're right, Mickey Van de Ven gets the last touch.
20 minutes gone. Fulham 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. And it's been a bright start, and Tottenham have now got to show that they can come from behind. And it was a particularly impressive first 20 minutes from Fulham, and I think the fans here applauding not only the goal but the effort and the tempo and the rhythm with which their team have operated at.
Definitely. Marco Silva will be absolutely delighted. Not on the touchline, of course, because he's got 3 yellow cards already. I'm not actually sure where he's sat. Maybe he's in the cottage. Who knows?
Maybe
where
he's
he
with
is.
Michael McIntyre.
Possibly.
Never know.
But he will be really pleased with the stars. Ange Postecoglou, I saw a little clip of Ange Postecoglou just then, and his face, he didn't show any emotion despite going a goal behind, but he will not be happy with what he's seen so far. They've not moved the ball quick enough.
Wickham 1-0 down to Sutton. Aidan O'Brien with a goal after 19 minutes. Stoke 2-0 up against Rotherham United. It's been a busy night already. Over on Talksport, you can get all the goals as they go in. Live commentary here as Tottenham come through the middle for the first time. Richarlison spinning and turning and feeding Giovanni Lo Celso, but out came Marek Rodak, who was the #1 goalkeeper at the beginning of last season, and gobbles the ball up for Fulham. That's late from Davinson Sanchez. As the ball was tossed out by Rodak towards the midpoint of the Fulham half, he's come right from behind and through him, and it was a late challenge by the Colombian. and that's going to be a free kick, and he'd be lucky to get away with a yellow card.
He will be lucky. That wasn't a good challenge at all. Tom Kearney still on the ground as well. Ball came into him midway inside his own half, and it was a challenge that Davinson Sanchez just did not need to make. Feet first and caught the Fulham skipper.
Premier League, that's a yellow card all day long.
I'm surprised it's not. I mean, that's as clear a yellow as you'll see. Great footwork for the goal though, wasn't it, from Tom Kearney?
And a deserved lead they have, and they come forward again with Traore down the right side, getting towards the byline, produces the cross, it's blocked by Davis, and it goes out for a corner over on the far side. That is actually the first corner of the game for a Fulham side that lead by a goal to nil. Mickey van der Ven's own goal separating these two teams. And Tottenham Hotspur, who went out to Nottingham Forest last season in the third round, but had Champions League football to compensate them for some free midweeks, will not want to slip out of this competition easily. Halfway through the first half, Fulham corner over on the far side. Swung in right-footed by Harrison Reed in towards the near post, away by Richarlison. Thrusts his head at the ball and gets it towards the halfway line. Robertson scoots between two players, and again there was an opportunity there for Spurs to turn the ball over, but Paulinho was just too quick, too sharp, read that there might be a problem and dealt with it before it became one.
They've been much sharper. I mean, that is the bottom line. They've been quicker to the ball, quicker to the second balls. They've been excellent. They've moved the ball sharply when they've got it. They've looked to be positive when they've got it. We've seen Anthony Robinson driving forward from left back. Adama Traore's got in behind Ben Davis on numerous occasions. Really good start from the home side.
Robinson down the left-hand side, delivers a cross into the box. Harrison Reed with a header. Well, it was the kind of play you just didn't want it to fall to, wasn't it, Harrison Reed?
That's where you want Alexander Mitrovic coming in at the far post. I mean, that is absolutely perfect. Harrison Reed, I mean, he's what, 5'7", 5'8", Harrison Reed. Can't quite rise high enough, can't keep the ball down, but it's a glorious opportunity. They've done that really well, actually, Fulham. Delivered 3 or 4 really good balls into that far post.
Well, Robinson's been brilliant crossing it from the left-hand side, and Traore actually has been quite accurate from the right-hand side.
Yeah, they've been really good. Much the better side in this opening exchanges.
And again, Tottenham Hotspur almost giving the ball away inside their own defensive third, and eventually goes back to Fraser Forster, who whacks the ball high into the night sky. And again, it drops just before the halfway line and goes out and away for a throw-in. It is 1-0 to Fulham, the home team, live on Talksport. Tonight, we are live at Craven Cottage. Talksport 2. Over on Talksport, we're bringing you all the goals as they go in. Dion Charles has scored for Bolton against Middlesbrough. And Mauro Icardi has scored for Galatasaray against Molde. And that's in the Champions League qualifiers. Mauro Icardi, big name player, was playing at PSG, was playing in Italy for a long time, and is now playing for Galatasaray alongside Wilfried Zaha, and they're hoping to get into the Champions League draw on Thursday morning. We will find out who all of our teams have got in the Champions League and the Europa League and Conference League draws this Thursday. Join us throughout the course of the day as we keep you updated with all of that. It's Talk Sport 2 live at Craven Cottage, and Tim Ream has won the ball just in front of the centre circle once again, repelled it out into the right fullback position where Tottenham are defending, and Emerson Royale has got it from Davinson Sanchez. Well, he's got to turn the tide somehow, Ange Postecoglou. He might have to earn his corn for the first time in the season.
Yeah, I mean, I feel for Ben Davis. It's not a position that he knows particularly well, going into midfield, and he sort of stood on top of Højbjerg at times, he stood on top of Oliver Skip at times. He doesn't quite know where to be and where he can get that little bit of space. We've just seen Tottenham now play for the first time a long ball, and what's happened? They've won themselves a corner. Yeah, it was down the left-hand side. Kenny Tete just getting there ahead of the forward, and he just flicked it behind, safety first, and it goes out and away for a corner kick over on the far side. It's taken short initially and then play to the edge of the penalty area, and Solomon tries to play it down the left side. It's a bit of a waste from Tottenham, that, and it drifts out of play rather easily. A slide rule pass which was designed, I think, to find a bit of movement. There just wasn't enough of it inside the box. Yeah, he was shaping to cross. He was looking to deliver a cross into the box, and they're a little bit late actually, Davinson Sanchez and Mickey van der Ven, in getting up in support for that corner, because they'd taken it short very early. Then he tried to slip Giovanni Lo Celso in by giving it the eyes, overhit his pass. Actually, there's been a few occasions Tottenham have overhit their passes. The pitch is very wet and very slick. The ball's moving fast.
Yeah, it was watered heavily before the game, and the rain hasn't stopped coming down, has it? So it is, as you say, quite a greasy surface out here in southwest London tonight. Thank you very much for lending us your ears wherever you are on the Talksport app, or if you're listening via DAB digital radio in your car or in your kitchen tonight. Thank you very much for listening to Talksport 2. The Sports Bar will take your calls on Talksport from 10 o'clock tonight. Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara, 03717 223344. Tomorrow night on Talksport 2 we'll bring you live commentary of Chelsea against AFC Wimbledon. That game kicking off at 7:45, and the weekend starts with another load of live football on Talksport and Talksport 2. And Saturday morning 12:30 I'm looking forward to being at Sheffield United's Bramall Lane for Sheffield United against Everton. Can Everton get a goal?
What a game. Well, both haven't got a point as yet, and Everton haven't got a point or a goal.
Should be a cracker. We're on air from 11 o'clock.
Oh, we've really built it up there, haven't we?
Well, listen, many people thought that it would be one-sided when Sheffield United played Manchester City, but it was an absolute belter of a game on Sunday afternoon, and we followed that keenly on the Sunday session. The ball is on the halfway line on Talksport 2, with João Palhinha being fouled by Oliver Skipp, and it was quite an agricultural foul as well, and he's not comfortable, João Palhinha. And the referee actually got to be a little bit careful that he's not too lackadaisical with his yellow cards. He seemed maybe to have forgotten to bring them out.
Well, we've been told they'll allow a little bit more in terms of the challenges. Not so much for the time wasting, but challenges, yes.
Ball sent out towards this near side, and it's over the head of Robinson. It's a little bit too much. The fans away to our left-hand side. The Tottenham fans are singing "We Want Levy Out" because he came up on the screen. We know where Marco Silva is now. He's up almost as high as the TV gantry.
Yeah, he is. We've just spotted him actually on our screen, and so I've looked up at the new stand, because in the middle of that top tier of the new stand there's no supporters, so there's plenty of empty seats, and he and his coaching staff are sat at the top there. Great view.
I think he'll be pretty happy with what he's seen so far.
Doesn't look it, but he will be. He should be, because his team have started really brightly.
Actually, I've spoken to him a few times, and he never looks particularly happy, but he's got, although he has that demeanour, I think he was pretty happy with the way the season went last year, up until Old Trafford.
I'll tell you what, I just watched the Tottenham's midfield then. You could have thrown a blanket over Emerson Royale, Højbjerg, Ben Davies and Lo Celso. Skipper tried to make some movement out to this right-hand side, but they're all so tight and crowded.
Is that too congested,
I think it's too congested, personally.
Bolton Wanderers won, Middlesbrough 0 we mentioned. Wolverhampton Wanderers have gone 2-0 up now. Fabio Silva with a goal. So two players that need goals, getting goals for Gary O'Neill's team. They lead by 2-0, and that'll be a second successive win for Gary O'Neill and for Wolverhampton Wanderers. There's a collision between Lo Celso and Diop. The referee has allowed play on. The ball's gone out of play over on the far side, but both players look as if they are in need of some treatment after a collision just short of the penalty area away to our right-hand side. We've played nearly half an hour, and Ange Postecoglou, I think, will be disappointed with the way that his team has started. Just a little bit too timid, and they look like a team that have bought in the resis.
Yeah, I actually watched him a couple of minutes ago, and he was screaming at Manor Solomon. Felt he was too deep. He's telling him to get out of the pitch, trying to stretch Fulham the other way. And they haven't done that enough. They keep coming to the ball. Everyone wants the ball to feet, rather than spinning in behind.
Talksport 2. Here is Richarlison backing into Diop, trying to get down towards the penalty area. It's half cleared and then picked up by Traore, and then Reed has got it, and Kearney's on the turn, and he's looking to release the ball out towards this near side. It was a little bit overhit by Kearney, and Ream has to scupper across to try and keep it in, ends up sliding off the pitch and running into the advertising hoarding.
I'm not sure Tim Ream's dad was an international sprinter.
Tim Ream's getting on a bit. He's 35 years of age.
Yeah, I was being harsh.
His poor hamstring's just gone ping, I think. Ask him to sprint like that across the field of play. It was a little bit heavy, wasn't it, from Tom Kearney? Ball back over on the far side with Tottenham Hotspur and Giovanni Lo Celso. He keeps getting pushed deeper and deeper and deeper. Maddison did it really well, actually, in the game against Bournemouth. He'd drift into those positions and bring the best out of his forwards. Here is Richarlison running into Diop, and then Palhinha, who skips away from two challenges before eventually the ball's released to Traore, who bounds forward at rapid pace and looks to receive the ball towards Rodrigo Muniz, who's got it. He's shot towards the near post. It's saved by the goalkeeper's feet, and he stops it from sneaking in. Another cross from Tete from the right side. It's half headed away by Emerson Royale. Anthony Robinson's going to get there first, and Tottenham her sixes and sevens at the back when the ball comes into the penalty area. Richarlison trying to get away. Paulinho pulls him back. Going to be a free kick on halfway.
Well, Fulham are hungrier, far more persistent, far more determined than Tottenham. Every loose ball they have won. They have been excellent without the ball, trying to win it back quickly. They played at a tempo that Spurs have been unable to live with.
Sheffield Wednesday have gone in front against Mansfield. Anthony Masaba with the goal after 28 minutes. Luton are 2-0 up against Gillingham now. Alfie Doughty with the goal. Stoke City are 3-1 up now against Rotherham United. Josh Laurent with the goal after 29 minutes.
They beat Rotherham 4-1, first game of the season.
They did. And they're heading for another sizable victory against them, Alex Neil's team. 32 minutes gone. 1-0 to Fulham here in the Carabao Cup second round. The goal coming after 19 minutes. Mickey van der Ven with an own goal. Perisic rushes across from the left-hand side. And as he tries to divert the ball into the centre, it just shanks off the turf and goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. Those flank positions going to be important, I think, for Tottenham tonight, and I'm sure that Ange Postecoglou is already thinking about little tweaks he can make at the break.
Oh, he'd be furious. He'd be absolutely furious. There's been no cohesion, no tempo, no quality when they've had possession of the ball. It's been difficult because Fulham have been excellent without it. They've chased hard. They've put Spurs under real pressure, especially when the ball's gone into midfield. They've been tight. Paulinho and Harrison Reed have been excellent, snapping into challenges.
Yep, and even Rodrigo Muniz, who is 22 years of age, the Brazilian forward who came off the bench against Brentford, actually has showed willing running. He's pressed well, and he's had a shot on target which was saved by Fraser Forster. He's actually on loan at Middlesbrough last season, scored 2 in 17 appearances. He cost £7 million from Flamengo in 2021, but he hasn't seen much action in a Fulham shirt up until this point, but he looks lively enough.
Yeah, he does. It was a great effort, actually. You know, you talk about determination and a willingness to run and harass people. That ball through was Mickey van der Ven's to win, and he was really tight to him, really close to him, made him make the mistake, and on the angle, Fraser Forster had to make a save with his foot, but he has started the game well. His link-up play's been good as well.
Yes, indeed. And I think Marco Silva up high in the Riverside stand will be pretty pleased with what he's seen from him so far. We'll review all the action on Talksport Breakfast tomorrow morning. Alan Brazil back on breakfast with Ali McCoist at 6 a.m. And tomorrow, 10 till 1, I'll be with Simon Jordan and Danny Murphy going through all the footballing action and previewing what will be another big night of football action as well, with Chelsea against AFC Wimbledon live on Talksport 2 tomorrow night, and another round the ground show with Adrian Durham. And then at the weekend, more live football for you coming your way, including Luton against West Ham on Friday night. The ball is out over on the far side. Tottenham coming forward. Davis combining with Perisic on the far side. He tries to get into a crossing position but goes backwards rather than forwards. Højbjerg then takes over, and there's more possession for Tottenham but no real purpose about it. They switch it to the right side. Manor Solomon is driven back by the attention of Anthony Robinson, who keeps him honest throughout the course of this first half. He's constantly making sure that he's thinking about going back the other way and not thinking about taking him on.
You mentioned Danny Murphy. It's the Danny Murphy derby.
I suppose it is, yeah.
Yeah, and actually, of the two teams, it's Fulham that could do with Spurs, that could do with him more. That creativity from midfield and getting on the ball, because he's always someone that wants to take it in tight areas and look to be positive in possession of the ball. And there's nobody in that midfield three that have been able to get on it and do that.
Not sure they'd want him at this moment in time.
Well, no, maybe not.
You never know. He could add a little bit of poise to proceedings. He's still got that in his locker. He was actually very impressive in the Talksport Breakfast versus All-Stars game that we played down at Millwall not so long ago, the highlights of which are still available on the Talksport YouTube channel. There's quite a lot available on that Talksport YouTube channel if you want to check it out.
Highlights or lowlights?
There was a wonderful acrobatic overhead kick which didn't quite go in, which was definitely a highlight. A ball cleared away high into the air by Rodak up towards De Cordova-Reid, who is offside, and Tottenham have a free kick inside their own half.
First time I've heard the Spurs fans for 20 minutes as well. Since they went a goal behind, they've been very quiet. They started with plenty of noise and in good voice, but not for a while.
Solomon running diagonally from right to left and centrally plays it infield towards Lo Celso's. Ball out to Perisic is too heavy, and Perisic loses that and it goes out for another Fulham throw over on the far side. Fulham 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Fulham have got Manchester City at the weekend before they take on Luton here, go to Palace. They've got Chelsea, Sheffield United and Tottenham again in the not too distant future. Marco Silva hoping to get a few points on the ball before the October international break. The ball cleared up over the halfway line, and Van de Ven is chasing it, brings it down under pressure from Adama Traore, then turns it back infield to Fraser Forster. Muñez is chasing him down, and no chance is taken by Forster, who kicks it clear enough over the halfway line, but there's no chance of Manor Solomon winning that header, and it's back with Fulham once again.
That was actually good work by Van de Ven, chasing that ball down his own left channel and then playing it back to Fraser Forster.
And they've won it here, Tottenham Hotspur, with Richarlison getting there ahead of Paulinho, then getting it back on the edge of the area. Right-footed drive, which is blocked by Tim Ream, and it's out for a corner. Another good block by him, but they turned it over, probably for the first time actually, high up inside Fulham territory. Yeah, they did. I was just going to say about Fulham, but they are looking to spin Tottenham in behind, make the defenders face their own goal and make it more difficult for them. This time Spurs win it in that final third, and on the angle it's an ambitious effort from Richarlison. He's got two Fulham players right in front of him, but he does win his side a corner, and he sees that it's going to be Perisic will take it, left-footed, so it'll be an in-swinger with the left foot from this near side in front of the Hammersmith end. It's a low one into the near post, which is easily dealt with by Tom Kearney. It comes back out to the edge of the box and played centrally by Lo Celso. Højbjerg lifts it into the penalty area, but it's a terrible ball, far too heavy, and straight into the arms of the Slovakian goalkeeper. All 6'4" of Marek Rodek, very grateful to come and receive that rather easily. Well, that's a ball that has to be absolutely inch perfect, because it's always running away. There's no space really in behind, because Fulham are quite deep anyway. They were probably within 12 yards of their own goalkeeper, and it was floated into an area hoping that someone could get on the end of it, but it has to be absolutely inch perfect, particularly a straight ball. There's quite a bit to do on the to-do list for Ange Postecoglou. 6 Premier League goals this season. They've been scored by Kulusevski, Maddison, 2 defenders, a defensive midfield player, and an own goal by Manchester United's Lisandro Martinez. Son and Richarlison yet to find the net. Richarlison given a start tonight to try and get him a little bit of confidence, but it's certainly been a more confident and more cohesive display by the home team, Fulham, in the opening 39 minutes. They lead by a 1-0 live on Talksport 2. The ball with Mickey van der Ven just in front of the centre circle. Takes a couple of strides forward. A lot of Tottenham's players being a little bit passive and not necessarily as purposeful as Fulham's. Fulham have been very aggressive, but they've got the ball high up the pitch now and worked it wide to Oliver Skipp. There's a bit of space here for Emerson Royal, who's tried to switch the play, but again, that lack of precision sends the ball behind the Celso. It goes out for a throw in the left full-back position. It was actually a little bit better from Spurs. Richarlison initially making the run in behind. It didn't quite reach him because Diop won the header, but Spurs pushed on and won the second ball with Lo Celso. But then the pass out wide, I mean, it's just, they're giving the ball away far too cheaply under no pressure. Bolton 1, Middlesbrough 1, Matt Crooks with the equaliser. Michael Carrick needs a win, doesn't he? Yeah. He's had a difficult summer, hasn't he? A lot of the players that he had on loan last year have gone back, and he hasn't been able to replace them with the requisite quality, I don't think. Chuba Akpom as well, left the club. Absolutely. Goals being taken out of a team in the Championship is always a recipe for a problem. 6 minutes to go before half-time here, and Tottenham have the ball just inside opposition territory. It's played into Højbjerg, gets it back again, and then plays it square where it's collected by Davinson Sanchez. Sanchez tries to fire it down the right corridor, looking for Solomon. The idea was right from the Colombian, and he almost connected with that pass into the inside right channel where Solomon had spotted that the ball had been sent, and he went running and darting towards it, but he just couldn't quite reach it. That was a great idea from Davinson Sanchez. Fabulous run as well. Given away by Fulham, and then a foul on the edge of the penalty area by Paulinho. Now, they were guilty of being a little bit sloppy playing out from the back there, Fulham, and Tottenham rushed them, and then Paulinho was forced into a foul on Richarlison, and a free kick has been given 3 yards outside the penalty area, just left of centre. Signs the last 5 minutes that Spurs are just finding their feet. They've pushed on. They're 10 yards higher up the pitch. It's Perisic that wins the loose ball in midfield before Richarlison is upended right on the edge of the box. 22 yards from goal? By the way, you were right about those numbers. They are dreadful. You actually cannot see any of the number. No. There's not one fan in here that can see the number of the Tottenham players. I mean, it's actually pointless. It should be a white number, shouldn't it? Surely. Or a black... I mean... Anything you can actually see would be helpful. Yeah. I mean, even partially see. I mean, you can't even see the outline of the number. It's like pointless. What a waste of time. Apparently the colour is officially taupe.
Which is what?
Rubbish. Perisic lines up the free kick, right-footed towards the wall, hits the wall, spins into the air, drops inside the box on the right side, and Richarlison tries to overhead kick the ball back into an open penalty area, but I think it's straight out already, so it's going to be a goal kick away to our right-hand side.
Oh, it's a corner. It's actually a corner, yeah.
Well, Robinson's complaining about that. Doesn't think that it came off him in any way, shape or form. And it has been given, and it's going to be the third corner of this first half, and Tottenham need a goal before the break. They trail by a goal to nil. Here's Perisic delivering a short ball in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Ream away, and Lo Celso will pick it up just before the halfway line for Tottenham, who didn't really make the most of that corner. The ball is sent wide towards the Tottenham left, but it's headed away by Tete, then picked up by Reed. He's found Kearney, and Kearney trying to spin away from two Tottenham players in that taupe kit, which I'm reliably informed is a dark grey-brown colour. The word derives from the French noun taupe, meaning mole.
So not pink then?
No. And not pretty either. Here is Diop over on the far side, challenging with the slender figure of Lo Celso. He's had a quite difficult start to the game. It's the first time he's started for quite some while for Tottenham. Well over a year since he's been in the starting 11. He spent last season on loan at Real Betis. And the ball is out on the halfway line, right in between the two dugouts, where Ange Postecoglou, with his arms behind his back, doesn't look a particularly happy figure. He's not the kind of fellow I think I'd like to go into a dressing room having not impressed.
Definitely not. I think he'll let you know, in no uncertain terms, how you've performed.
He might not use the word mate at the end of it on this rare occasion. He was pretty dry and blunt when we met him down in Bournemouth at the weekend. Oh, good turn of phrase and a bit of humour about him as well. And certainly, from what I understand, is he's lifted the mood in and around the Tottenham training complex. Ball sent down towards the right-hand side. Simon Jordan actually made the point on White and Jordan earlier on today. What he is a manager who is quite pleased to be the Tottenham boss. He doesn't feel like he's doing Tottenham a favour. He's certainly not making it sound like Mourinho and Conte did, where they were almost sort of making out that they were helping Tottenham out by being there.
What a brilliant club, though. I mean, it's a privilege, isn't it, to be a manager of a club the size of Tottenham.
Absolutely.
They're one of the big six. They've got the best stadium in the country.
Best training ground in the country.
Best training ground in the country. They've got a fabulous squad, fabulous set of players. I mean, I know Harry Kane's left, but wow, I mean, it's a great job.
They've got £100 million in the bank, apparently. Approaching half-time, though, in the Carabao Cup, and at this moment in time, that wonderful club from the top six, or traditionally in the top six, although they didn't finish that way last season, are at the moment heading out because they trail here by a goal to nil, an own goal from Mickey van der Ven after 19 minutes separating these two teams. And goals have been a problem for them and will be a problem for them because Harry Kane scored 30 of Tottenham's 70 goals in the Premier League last season. He scored a higher percentage of his team's goals than any other Premier League player last season. So heavily did they rely upon him. Ball sent forward looking for Richarlison, who in his absence is playing as the centre forward. There looked as if there was going to be a late challenge by Skip there on Paulinho, but he released the ball just in time. It's gone wide via Reed to Traore, who's crossing to the box. He's headed by Nunez, and Nunez's header is scooped away by Fraser Forster. A big right hand came out and protected that goal away to our left-hand side. It was a good save. Comes back out to Reed, into the box. A turn by Muniz. A good shot, which is bounced off the defender, and it goes behind and away for a corner kick over on the far side. But two moments there which could have seen Tottenham go further behind. The crossing from the right-hand side, nodded down by Muniz, and it was a great save by Forster.
Yeah, he just kept them in it. I mean, you felt as though he was going to find that bottom corner. Forster diving away to his right, gets a big hand on it and keeps it out. But it's wonderful play again down the right-hand side from Adama Traore, lifting the cross into the area and asking to be attacked. Muniz does that, wins the header, but fabulous save from Forster, low to his right.
Really good save from the former England goalkeeper. Corner kick taken on the far side by Harrison Reed. 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first 45. 1-0 to Fulham. It's taken short, and Traore's got it right side of the penalty area. And he's been pushed away from goal. He's come back to Reed, and then Reed travels backwards rather than forwards. Kenny's very deep here when he releases the ball high into the air to be attacked by Muniz. It drops in the edge of the D, Emerson Royale tries to stab it clear. They've given it away again, Tottenham Hotspur, and I think some of their fans getting a little bit frustrated behind the goal away to our left-hand side. And Fulham have it again.
Yeah, I wonder what the odds are on Ange Postecoglou making a couple of changes at half-time and bringing on some of his big hitters. He wouldn't have wanted to. The reason he made 9 changes is to try and protect them, but halfway into this game, and they've been second best all over the pitch.
They have. And at this moment in time, Tottenham are in danger of sliding out the second round stage. They haven't played in the second round for quite some time, Tottenham Hotspur. And at this moment in time, they won't be playing in the third unless they can come up with at least a goal here. The ball is with Ben Davis. He's in the right-back position at the moment because they're still a little bit misshapen after the corner. Mickey van der Ven takes it towards halfway. We've nearly played our 2 minutes, and there's no urgency about Tottenham to go forward before we reach the half-time break. And there is the whistle eventually from the referee, Josh Smith, and there's no more added time. Well, Fulham went out to Crawley at this stage last year, but they are in front of the break after an own goal from Mickey van der Ven was diverted beyond Fraser Forster. It could have been much worse for Tottenham Hotspur had Forster not come up with a really good save towards the end of the first half. A header from Rodrigo Muniz down to his right had to be scooped off the line. There were a couple of efforts as well from Muniz which he had to stop with his feet. Otherwise there could have been a real problem for Tottenham. At the break, Fulham lead by a goal to nil, Matt Holland, and it's been one-way traffic.
Well, it's been more than deserved, and it could and perhaps should have been 2-0, but for a wonderful save from Fraser Forster right from the off. I thought they got it right. They were playing a real intensity without the possession. They were actually happy for Spurs to play it around at the back until they started to play into midfield. As soon as they played into midfield, that's when they went. Paulinho and Harrison Reed have done a great job of closing down. And actually Tottenham have been really narrow, really too close, especially in the middle of the pitch with Emerson Royale and Ben Davis coming into a central area, and Celso's coming deep as well. You've got Hotspur in there, who doesn't particularly want to go out into wide areas. Skipper's tried to a little bit in give him his due. When Emerson Royale has got him from this right hand side, he's pulled out into his position on the right hand side. But generally they've not had too many ideas, Tottenham. Not been able to get into the final third often enough, not played in behind often enough. Richarlison's hardly had a kick, the Celso's hardly had a kick, Perisic has hardly had a kick, and we've hardly mentioned Solomon as well. So those front four have not been in the game. Fulham have been excellent.
Yeah, they have. They've been excellent all over the pitch. They've pressed high up when they've needed to. They've not let Tottenham settle. If they didn't fancy pressing, then they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't fall into the traps that Tottenham were laying for them. So it was good tactical application by Marco Silva's team, and he's watched on from high opposite us in the Riverside stand. Not allowed to be in the dugout tonight because of his three yellow cards already?
3 yellow cards.
And that meant a ban. So he's been booked in every game up until this point. At least he's not going to get booked tonight. In fact, no one's been booked tonight despite some hefty challenges. Pitch has played its part as well. A couple of heavy passes. The pitch has been quite slick, so it's run off the turf pretty quickly. This is one of those games, though, where Ange Postecoglou has obviously decided he's going to keep Richarlison in the team, try and find him some rhythm, trying to find him some goals. Does that backfire if he has another tough night?
Well, yeah, I mean, it probably does in some ways, because he's definitely trying to get him some confidence, and he's not going to get it from that first half display because he's hardly seen the ball. I'm not blaming him too much today, actually. I think that the players behind him haven't done a great job of finding him. He's done his best to try and come short at times. I don't think he's spun in behind often enough. He did it once, and actually it ended up with Tottenham winning the corner. And the first time he did it, he got them up the pitch, but he hasn't done that often enough. The word I would use, and the difference between the two sides, has been application. Fulham have been at it right from the off. They've had the appetite, the hunger and the desire to push, to press, to win the ball back. Tottenham have turned up thinking, well, we're all good players, it'll be fine, it's a nice pitch, nice evening, pitch is slick, we'll just move the ball around and we'll play at our own pace. But you can't play at your own pace against good players, against very good players, and we've seen that from Fulham. They've got really close to them and not allowed Tottenham to play. But application has been the big difference.
Yeah, I think you're going to find Lo Celso struggled in that number 10 position. He's not the kind of playmaker, the same sort of playmaker as James Maddison. He's not doing the same sort of role, and there's a little bit more hunger maybe about Fulham tonight than there is about Tottenham Hotspur. And Manor Solomon has also had a bit of a problem on this right-hand side. He's struggling to get the better of Anthony Robinson, who's had a really good game in that first 45. We'll discuss it further in just a few moments here on Talksport 2, and we'll give you all the half-time scores from the Carabao Cup second round when we come back.
Talksport 2, official broadcast partner of the Premier League and the English Football League.
LV have just made saving money on my insurance simple. With MultiCover, I get a 10% discount by combining my insurance for my family's home and cars. Now that's a handy saving. Putting them together means I have one policy and one renewal date for both, because insurance is simple when it's me and LV.
No wonder we're rated excellent on Trustpilot. Get your multi-cover quote today at lv.com. Discount applies to home and all cars registered at the same address. Excludes optional add-ons.
Calling all McCrispy lovers. Your favourite chicken burger has been remixed with delicious smoky bacon, hot and spicy mayo, and a caramelised onion relish. As if you didn't love it enough already. The McCrispy Deluxe. It's your favourite chicken remixed. Available until the 5th of September, served after 11 a.m, subject to availability.
Save right now with the Wickes Lifestyle Kitchen and Joinery event and shop offers on kitchen units, doors, timber, flooring and more. Plus, as a Wickes Trade Pro member, you'll save an extra 10%. Shop the Wickes Lifestyle Kitchen and Joinery event in-store or online at wickes.co.uk.
I just sold my car.
Weren't you going to part exchange?
I was, but who knew you could get a bigger discount on your next car if you sell to We Buy Any Car? Just sold my car to We Buy Any Car.
Just sold my car to We Buy Any Car. Just sold my car to We Buy Any Car.
To find out how much your car's worth in 30 seconds, enter your reg number now at WeBuyAnyCar.com. Admin fee may apply. For more information, visit WeBuyAnyCar.com/info.
Tonight from 10.
Get bowled over with the Cricket Collective, the fast-paced cricket show on Talksport 2. That'll hit you for 6.
Down the pitch, he's edged it.
It's a pitch-perfect delivery of first-class cricket news, boasting an impressive strike rate of exclusive big-name guests, dissecting the week's biggest fixtures, and fielding fierce fan reaction.
You little ripper.
Don't get caught out.
Listen to the Cricket Collective
tonight from 10
on Talksport 2.
The Social with Adiola Depot and Rory Jennings. Tomorrow afternoon from 3 on Talksport 2. Outspoken opinions and decisive debate following all the action.
We talk about football in a bipartisan and educated way. Well, I do at least.
I try.
News, views, fun and football fixtures.
It's not just football though. Bit of boxing, bit of horse racing, even a bit of rugby.
And it's a try!
And some phenomenal guests.
If you can't get in this squad after showing the form he showed, I don't think it looks too good for him.
This is the place to be.
It's Addy and Rory. It's The Social on Talksport 2.
What a goal!
The Social. Tomorrow afternoon from 3.
It just works, doesn't it?
On Talksport 2.
This Saturday is game day.
On Talksport and Talksport 2.
Stimulate your senses with a heavy-duty payload of thrilling Premier League football.
What a goal!
2 exclusive Premier League games. All the action from around the grounds. Followed by the ultimate football phone-in.
And it's in!
Game day. This Saturday.
On Talksport and Talksport 2.
On DAB+, online, via the Talksport app and on your smart speaker.
The Carabao Cup, live on Talksport 2.
Robbie Williams has moved to jump on the bandwagon, recording a social media version of a chant that bemoans the reigns of Mourinho and Conte as boring and dull, and pays homage to Postecoglou instead. Is he the one? Picked off by Anthony Robinson, who fancies chances down the left-hand side. He's rapping and he gets beyond Sanchez. Produces a cross into the box at the far post, headed down and into the side netting. And Rodrigo Muniz got up well and headed the ball down. I think maybe the flag went up over on the far side anyway.
Great opportunity early on.
They've been beaten all over the pitch here at this moment in time, Tottenham. Every time a ball goes into one of their players and it's a 50-50 ball, it's a Fulham shirt that's emerging with it. Is Kenny, lovely little turn past one defender, does it again, beats Sanchez into the area. It's going to be an own goal off Van de Ven. Flicks into the air and beyond Fraser Forster, it's an own goal from Tottenham.
And it is a deserved lead because Fulham have been on the front foot. The ball's already over the line before Perisic can keep it out.
The ball towards Rodrigo Muniz, who's got it. He's shot towards the near post. It's saved by the goalkeeper's feet, and he stops it from sneaking in.
Fulham are hungrier, far more persistent, far more determined than Tottenham. Every loose ball they have won. They have been excellent.
Yeah, that's the half-time score. It's Fulham 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0 in the Carabao Cup second round. Swansea lead Bournemouth by a goal to 0. Birmingham 0, Cardiff 1 is a half-time score from the other games in the EFL Cup. Bolton 1, Middlesbrough 1 is a half-time score. Bristol City 0, Norwich City 0. Exeter 1, Stevenage 0. Luton Town 2, Gillingham 0. Newport County 0, Brentford 0. Plymouth 1, Crystal Palace 0. Port Vale 0, Crewe 0. Portsmouth 0, Peterborough 1. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Mansfield 0. Stoke City 4, Rotherham 1. And that was reminding you that they won 4-1 on the opening day of the season against Rotherham. Tranmere 0, Leicester City 0. Wolves 2, Blackpool 0. Sasa Kalajdzic on the score sheet. Fabio Silva on the score sheet for Gary O'Neill's team. Wrexham 0, Bradford 1. Wickham 0, Sutton 1. Reading 1, Ipswich 0. And Leeds 0, Salford 1. That's a big scoreline, isn't it? Salford leading by a goal to 0 in the second round of the Carabao Cup. Now tomorrow, our coverage of the second round of the Carabao Cup continues. We'll be bringing you live commentary from Stamford Bridge as Chelsea go head-to-head with AFC Wimbledon ahead of the game. Chelsea boss Maurizio Pochettino has told the media how important it is to be successful in every competition that they're in.
I want to win the Carabao Cup, I want to win the FA Cup, and I want to win the Premier League. I want to win tomorrow, and I want to win the Cups, I want to win the Premier League. Even if we are involved, we will be involved in the next few years in Champions League or in different, European competition. I think every single competition is going to be a challenge for us, and is going to be an objective to win.
Did you always feel a bit misunderstood then about your relationship with this competition?
No, because maybe my English wasn't good enough when we arrived to Southampton. I was always too difficult to translate the idea of what means sometimes, priorities and like this. And when the message is not clear, and then it's difficult to change this idea. That is why we are older guys now and more experienced, and I learn. And look, I want to win every single competition because I become older and I want to win. I cannot wait. I cannot say, okay, this season is only be focused on this, and this season we no. I think it's no time to waste his time, and it's about to win, and that is the idea I want to translate to the player and all the staff.
That game is live tomorrow night on Talksport 2. I'll be there with Scott Minto for that, so make sure you join us. Download our app. You can flick between the two stations right now over on Talksport 2. The ladies' goals as they go in the EFL Cup, with Bournemouth getting an equaliser in South Wales thanks to their Welshman David Brooks getting on the score sheet. Great fairy tale for him to be back on the score sheet in Wales after the troubles that he has had. On Thursday, we bring you the all-important Champions League group stage draw. Newcastle make their return to European football and to the Champions League after 20 years away.
For the first time in 20 years, Newcastle United are a Champions League club again.
Of history for Alan Shearer. At 32, it's his first ever Champions League goal.
Newcastle under Eddie Howe have gone back to the big time.
Yeah, amazing achievement from where we've come from in a really short period of time. Everybody has contributed to this, and a great day for the club.
Has it down by the corner flag. Oh, he's got away from two. Beats another one. He's still going. Isak still going. What a run this is. And it's a chance and it's in. What a goal.
They should go in there with zero respect for it, zero fear of it. What it is a huge opportunity.
He's set up Bruno Guimaraes! St James's Park explodes with emotion.
Oh, it's going to be great up at St James's Park every time that Champions League theme starts ringing around, Matt.
There's a real feel-good feeling, isn't there, around Newcastle and St James's Park. I know there was disappointment at the weekend, being a goal ahead and then eventually losing to Liverpool, but what a season they had last year, qualifying for the Champions League. I bet they can't wait for that draw.
No, I bet they can't, and we'll be bringing you that, and I'm sure that the fans of Manchester United, Manchester City and Arsenal will also be paying close attention to it ahead of the start of the Champions League when we come back from the international break. Probably a good time to tell you about a signing that has been confirmed tonight. Brighton have signed Cameroon-born midfielder Carlos Baleba on a 5-year deal for €27 million from French side Lille. Listen, he's 19 years of age. He only made his Lille debut 12 years ago, but forged an impressive reputation.
12 months ago.
12 months ago, sorry.
He was only 7 when he made his Lille debut.
That would have been funny. Well, they do get them young, don't they, at Brighton?
They do, yeah.
£27 million there. If Brighton are playing £27 million for you and you're a teenager, they've done their research on you.
Well, they always seem to get the next one off the conveyor belt. I mean, it's a brilliant recruitment policy that they've got. And they sell players for multi-million pounds. You think Cucurella went for whatever he did, and Estupinian comes in. Caicedo goes, and now Baleba coming in. Is he the next one?
Well, Manchester City, Arsenal, Manchester United, Newcastle, West Ham, Brighton, Aston Villa, all of those teams will be finding out who they face in the group stages of various European competitions. The Social on Talksport 2 will bring you the Champions League draw on Thursday evening from 5 o'clock, and we'll keep you updated with everything that happens in the Europa Conference and the Europa League as well. So, change incoming, and Giovanni Lo Celso is off, and Dane Scarlett is on for Giovanni Lo Celso at the start of this second half. Well, there's a youngster coming on for a more experienced player. I thought he was disappointing, and so it seems does Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, I wonder what that means then in terms of team shape. Will he go up top? And will they play 4-4-2?
And with, or possibly with Richarlison as the number 10?
Possibly.
Richarlison looks as if he's going to start by kicking the game off, so it may well be that Scarlett goes as one of the number 10s. It may well be a 4-4-2. That was the shape that Fulham used at the beginning of the game against Arsenal at the weekend, so it may well be that they are mirroring that. But it's a bold move from Ange Postecoglou as we get underway at the start of the second half, live on Talksport 2, with Tottenham Hotspur getting us started in that Torp kick, shooting from right to left, and the two teams divided by that Mickey van der Ven own goal. Fulham, the home team, with a 1-goal advantage, shooting from left to right at the start of the second half towards the Hammersmith end in white shirts with black sleeves and black shorts and socks. I'll run through the two 11s as they are now, with Rodak in goal for the home team. The right back is Kenny Tete, Diop, Ream and Robinson the back four. In midfield, Paulinho and Reed. Decordova-Reid and Traore are on the flanks, with Kearney behind the impressive Rodrigo Muniz in attack. It's Fraser Forster in goal for Tottenham Hotspur. Royale, Sanchez, Van der Ven and Davis making up the back four. Emil Højbjerg and Oliver Skip, the two holders, with Solomon and Perisic on the flanks, and Dane Scarlett and Richarlison almost as an orthodox two up top.
Does look that way. Looks like it's a 4-4-2, and actually at times it's a 2-2-2-4 is how they're lining up, with Perisic and Manasolon high up alongside Scarlett and Richarlison, and with Ben Davis and Emerson Royale in behind them.
Yeah. I'm old, but I'm not that old when I can remember Uruguay playing like that in the 1938 World Cup. But I did see a graphic of it once. Here is Pierre-Emile Højbjerg winning the ball higher up for Tottenham Hotspur. A minute and a half played at the start of the second half. They trail by 1-0 on Talksport tonight in the Carabao Cup, Talksport 2, the Carabao Cup second round. We played 2 minutes of it, and here is Højbjerg, who swings it back to Davinson Sanchez, who looks for Manor Solomon, who's back at the cottage after a brief tenure at Tottenham. He was at Shakhtar Donetsk officially, but because of the war in Ukraine was allowed to sign on loan last year for Fulham. Missed a few games because of injury actually, but had a good end to the campaign. He signed on a free from Shakhtar in the summer, and he went to Tottenham Hotspur. Ball away by Diop into Reed. Good elegant turn by him to get him away from Perisic, and then Adama Traore tries to bully his way past Højbjerg and then runs past two defenders and then takes on a third. Van der Ven is faced up. He goes on the outside of him. Can he stick with him? He slides the ball against the Dutchman. It goes behind and away for a corner kick. but that was exhilarating pace and no little skill from Adama Traore, who weaved his way beyond 3 challenges before darting down the right side and getting Fulham on the front foot.
He's in the mood, Adama Traore. He's got the bit between his teeth. What I will say is, though, excellent defending again by Mickey van der Ven. He has got real pace. To stick with Adama Traore, it's really important as well. If you're going to push your fullbacks on, that you've got pace in those 2 centre-half positions. He's got it in abundance.
Cameron Humphreys has scored an equaliser for Ipswich away at Reading. Matt Holland will be pretty happy with that. Izzy looks happy with it as well. Plymouth 2, Crystal Palace 0. Corner comes in towards the near post, back towards Reed, who hits it right-footed from 18 yards out, down the middle of the goal. It's repelled and goes out of play away over the halfway line. That Luke Cundall goal for Plymouth, by the way, is apparently an absolute screamer. I'll tell you what, Crystal Palace going out of the competition at this stage of the season won't go down too well at Selhurst Park. But Plymouth, who've had an alright start to the Championship season, haven't they? Taking a Premier League scout by the look of it in the Carabao Cup second round. Mickey van der Ven and Adama Traore looks like quite a match down this Fulham right, doesn't it? We'll keep an eye on that as the evening progresses. And Tottenham progressing now down the right side. They're right as they look at it, but Emerson Royale, he did look quite some way offside as the ball was played down that touchline by Manor Solomon. And across comes the official, puts the flag in the air, and it's a free kick.
Whether it's the substitution, change of shape, change of attitude. They've started the second half a little bit brighter, Tottenham, moving the ball quicker.
21,043 inside Craven Cottage tonight for this Carabao Cup tie. It's not a bad return on a wet Tuesday night with half the main stand open.
And a good travelling contingent from Tottenham.
Huge travelling contingent from Tottenham. And there'll be quite a few Tottenham fans, actually, if they go out this competition and be very disappointed and might want to ring Jamie and Jason 03717 223344 on their way home tonight. Ball clipped long and high into the air. Mickey van der Ven looking for Perisic, but it's away by Kenny Tete, who was pretty impressive last season and has been impressive at the start of this. Harrison Reed has landed awkwardly. He's lost the boot. He's got to tie it back up. And the referee is allowing him to do that, giving him a little bit of time and delaying the taking of the throw-in.
And actually we saw at half-time Timothy Castagna being paraded.
We did.
A new signing for Fulham. Can play right back or left back. Talked about the fullbacks tonight heavily, haven't we? Tete and Anthony Robinson, but Timothy Castagna will provide good competition for them.
He will, and they look as if they're going to search out Lucas Ocampos as well from Sevilla to add to their forward battalion. So there are manoeuvres being made by Marco Silva and Fulham Football Club as we go into the last days of the transfer window. The transfer window that will close on Friday and will be followed throughout the day with our team of expert reporters up and down the country, bringing you all the breaking news as it happens on Talksport. Here is Tim Ream intercepting and sending the ball up towards the halfway line. It's collected now by Tom Kearney into De Cordova-Reid. He couldn't quite control it. He spun out of play, and then Polini has won it back again on the halfway line before Tottenham can threaten to break.
Oliver Skipp gave the ball away in midfield, tried to play the ball forward. I think it was Tim Ream stepped in and won the ball, and there was a collective groan away to our left. The Spurs fans not happy with some of what they're seeing.
Fulham 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0, live on Talksport 2 tonight, and Tottenham Hotspur, I think they're in danger here of perishing at the first hurdle unless they can come up with something special. Manor Solomon has just jinked his way past 3 challenges and played the ball out wide towards the left. Better football. It's Perisic, sloppy as he plays it down the left-hand side, intercepted by Kenny Tete, and it goes up to halfway and Van der Ven gets the better of Muniz. Back it comes with Perisic. Tottenham having a bit of a spell, but haven't really tested Rodak at all in the game so far.
I don't think he's had a save to make. I actually don't think he's had a save to make. They've had a couple of blocked efforts, but the goalkeeper has had nothing to do.
Which will be another source of disappointment, I think. But here is Ben Davis trying to change that into Richarlison, looking to spin. It takes a deflection, goes into the air, and now he does have to make a save, a fingertip save as he backpedals towards his own goal after a deflection, spins the ball into the air towards the crossbar, and just to make sure Rodak tips it over the top of said bar and out for a corner.
Yeah, it's one that he didn't want to take a chance with. I think it's one that he could have probably caught, but with it just dipping underneath his crossbar, if he tries to catch that and takes it over the line, then he'd have been absolutely furious with himself, so just decided to tip it over the bar himself.
And Bournemouth look as if they've gone back in front, or gone in front for the first time of the night down in Swansea. They lead by 2-1 as the ball goes in from the corner flag. Perisic sends it forward, it's punched away by the goalkeeper. There's a defender down inside the penalty area, And the Tottenham fans unhappy about the fact that the game has been stopped as a result of that, but it does look like a head injury. And it is an injury, it looks like, to Muñiz, who has gone down away to our left-hand side. Tranmere Rovers 0, Leicester City 1. Wilfred Ndidi, he's still there, is he? Thought he was on the move today.
Yeah, so right.
And Hamed Traore has scored for Bournemouth. That second goal that we mentioned, they lead by 2 goals to 1. Talksport 2, where Fulham lead by a goal to 0 against Tottenham Hotspur. Mickey van der Ven's own goal after 19 minutes is the separator so far. Ange Postecoglou has made one change at half-time, and it has brightened up Tottenham Hotspur, but again, it's still not perfect. And Fulham, who themselves have got replacements on the bench that'll be ready to come on and keen to make an impact, might think about rolling the dice in the next 5 or 6 minutes themselves. Here is Dane Scarlett trying to go down the right side. The ball breaks towards the edge of the area, and Højbjerg hits it in towards the near post, but misfires. It goes wide, and it goes out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. That was a chance for Tottenham. Dane Scarlett making a nuisance of himself inside the area. It was half cleared by Kenny Tete, who felt he was fouled actually inside the box. It came to Højbjerg on the edge of the area. He slashed it across the surface. He missed the goal.
It's a poor finish from Højbjerg. Great work from Tete. He came across and made the challenge against Scarlett, but it fell kindly to Højbjerg. And really, he's tried to side-foot it into that bottom left-hand corner, but the other corner was his better option. Mishit the effort and dragged it wide of that left-hand post, but poor effort from him.
Kenny Tete has got to go off the field of play because in that challenge with Dane Scarlett, he lost the boot. And it's ripped, actually. The boot has been ripped. Now, he's gone round the other side, thinking he can change the boot on the far touchline, and they've told him, your boots are in the changing room. You've got to go back and get them. So he's run from right side to left side. Now he's running behind the goal and down the tunnel to go and get a spare pair of boots.
I've seen most things at football. I've never seen that. I have never seen that.
Fulham are down to 10 men as a result of that. And
Bobby D. Cordova-Reid just filling in for him at right back.
He's had to. They're down to 7 men at this moment in time because Kenny Tete has gone off the pitch to go and get a replacement boot.
Well, normally the kit man would be the one down the tunnel, but it's a long way, isn't it, across the pitch here at Craven Cottage, and Kenny Tete would be quicker than the kit man getting there.
He said, you go and do it, fella.
Exactly.
Yeah, the kit man's getting a bonus for that. Here is Perisic down the left-hand side. The cross towards the right-hand side. And Richarlison is there, and he heads it towards goal, and it's in. And with Kenny Tete off the pitch and Fulham momentarily down to 10 men, Richarlison gets the goal that he's been aching for. A first goal in Tottenham colours since April for Richarlison. Levels things up at the Cottage, and there'll be an inquiry amongst the Fulham defence. The cross from deep went over the head of everyone. Kenny Tete had gone to get his boots. There was no problem inside the penalty area for Richarlison, who rose and headed the ball down and equalised for Tottenham Hotspur. It's Fulham 1, Tottenham 1.
Boy, did he need a goal, Richarlison. Arriving at the far post. It's a wonderful cross from Perisic, but you're absolutely right. No Kenny Tete on the pitch. It's Bobby Cordova-Reid in that right-back position who allows Perisic to come in and deliver that cross to the far post. He relies on service, and this time he gets it. He finds himself at the far post with a couple of yards out and still a fair bit to do, but he does it well, guides it past Rodak, and Spurs are level.
Well, Kenny Tete is back on the field of play now, and he's got both his boots back on.
He's handled Perisic brilliantly all night. The one time he's off the pitch, Perisic is allowed to come inside and deliver a cross which Richarlison nods home.
Portsmouth 1, Peterborough 1. Christian Sadie with the goal after 51 minutes. Tranmere 0, Leicester City 2. Jamie Vardy with the goal. Richarlison has been credited with a goal. I did worry as he headed the ball down and Tim Ream sort of tried to hook it clear and it went into the roof of the net, but they were going to give it to Tim Ream. Richarlison needs it.
It is his goal.
It is his goal.
It is his goal.
The Tottenham fans are happy about it. And Richarlison, who has been waiting a very long time to get on the score sheet for Tottenham, has finally done that, and he celebrated well. And the Tottenham fans are in fine voice behind the goal now. They're certainly making their feelings felt. 1-1.
Stepped it up. They've stepped it up, Tottenham. No doubt about it in this second period. Fulham were the better side in the first half, much the better side. But right from the off, there was a different attitude about Tottenham. Much sharper, much quicker, starting to win the ball back more in midfield. And they have picked up that goal from Richarlison. Looking at a picture of Marco Silva, looks despondent, and he will be, because his team played really well in the first 45 minutes, but they've not come out of the dressing room.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it, as well, when you're so dominant in the first half of a game that you don't get yourself 2 goals in front, and your lead is slender. Tottenham have picked it off. It's 1-1. There's another foul over on the far side, which looked to me initially like that would be a yellow card in a Premier League match. Once again, Tom Kearney has gone down after severe treatment, and it's going to be a free kick just in from the left touchline. There's a geezer standing behind the goal in an Aussie cork hat, screaming at the Tottenham Hotspur players. He's leading the chanting away to our left. There's a Brazilian flag in the front row being lofted in support of Richarlison.
How long before they're selling cork hats in the club shop?
Here is Richarlison trying to turn towards the edge of the penalty area. A bit more confidence about him now. It's away by Paulinho. Ends up sending it straight into the face of Harrison Reed. Paulinho nearly lost it a second time. Was brought down by Perisic. Buys the free kick, and it is a free kick on the edge of the penalty area for Fulham. Oh yeah, there's a whole new range of merchandise that you can get started there. Ange merchandise. You can get those little beer coolers. How long before they're sponsored by Castlemaine Forex? A red card in the game between Luton and Gillingham. Jaden Clark has been sent off, so they're down to 10 men. And the red card was for Lukas Jutkovic of Birmingham City. Apologise. Luton 2-1 up against Gillingham. Jaden Clark with the goal. Plymouth 2, Crystal Palace 1. Odsonne Edouard getting one back. And Stoke City are 5-1 up against Rotherham United now. Josh Laurel's second goal of the game. It's 1-1 here, and there's all to play for now with half an hour to play. And those changes that were made by Ange Postecoglou have certainly turned things upside down.
Some noise now from the Spurs fans. Absolutely loving life, back in the game and on the front foot, looking the more likely.
Going to make a change here. Fulham Football Club, Louis Boamorte, who's over on the far side running the dugout tonight, switching things around. Adama Traore is coming off. He jogs over towards that far side. And Harry Wilson, with his platinum dyed hair, is coming on. 3 assists in his last 9 appearances for Harry Wilson, who again caused trouble in the game away at Arsenal at the weekend. He's on to try and cause trouble for another North London team.
Very different player to Adama Traore. Adama Traore direct and quick and really positive in running at Ben Davies. Harry Wilson's clever, picks it little pockets. He's got an eye for a goal. Totally different proposition for Ben Davies now.
Charlie O'Connell has been sent off for Peterborough, second yellow card. Matt Doherty scored for Wolverhampton Wanderers. They're 3-0 up now against Blackpool in the EFL Cup. As the scores continue to come in. And remember, you can follow Round the Grounds with Adrian Durham over on Talksport right now. We're bringing you the closing stages, the final half an hour of this Carabao Cup second round match between Fulham and Tottenham, live on Talksport 2, with rain in the air and maybe the whiff of a rather chaotic last half an hour, bearing in mind neither of these two teams will be happy going out. They've given everything actually in the game. Tottenham, who looked a little bit off the pace in the first half, have been much better in the second, and Fulham, who were brilliant in the first 45, desperate to continue their progress in this competition. They haven't been beyond round 4 for a very long time, Fulham. 19 years since they went beyond round 4 of this competition. But Spurs seem to have a habit of beating them. They've won 8 of their last 9 matches against them in all competitions, while they're unbeaten at Craven Cottage since an FA Cup clash in January 2011. A second goal for Crystal Palace in quick succession. Jean-Philippe Mateta has levelled things up down at home park. It's Plymouth 2, Crystal Palace 2. Rather frenetic end to that game coming as well. Here's Anthony Robinson down the left-hand side for Fulham, over the halfway line, delivers across towards the edge of the box, taken down by Muniz. He nudges it back to Paulinho. Tete's got it now. There's 4 queuing up on the edge of the penalty area. Tete strikes it from distance. A little bit ambitious from him, and it flies over the top of the crossbar and into the Hammersmith end, and it remains 1-1. I wonder whether or not Muniz there, instead of playing the ball backwards as that cross came in, could just take it down and then nudge it into the penalty area. Declan Reed just pulled off his marker, Emerson Royale.
Yeah, potentially just brought it down, spun and had a shot himself. Because Mickey van der Ven didn't get tight to him. He actually dropped off.
Well, Oliver Skipp's had a few little nibbles at João Palhinha. And how many more before the yellow card comes out? The answer is none, because he's going to get given that yellow card in double quick time.
He had one 60 seconds ago, and I thought he was going to get booked then. He has got a booking now.
First man to go in the referee's notebook tonight. What a turnaround at home park. Plymouth 2, Crystal Palace 3. Jean-Philippe Mateta. A second half comeback from Roy Hodgson's team, and they've salvaged themselves 3 goals in a space of 4 minutes down at home park. Pretty impressive. Is he still doing the maths? It is 4, 58 to 62. What did you get? What was your GCSE in maths? C. A star. Ball is out from the far side. I won't repeat what you've just done.
Well, that was one finger. That's my maths anyway.
1-1 the score. You're listening to Talksport. 64 on the clock. And Tottenham Hotspur have the ball inside their own half. And it's at the feet of Van der Ven, whose own goal has been cancelled out now by Richarlison. And all in Tottenham colours will be pretty happy with that. I'm not sure it is a colour that they're wearing tonight, though, is it? It's just like a splurge of mud. Swansea 2, Bournemouth 2. Jamie Patterson with the equaliser for Swansea down at the Swansea.com stadium. It's a busy night of Carabao Cup action this evening. Reed jumps in on Davis, who again is coming in from that left full-back position to try and make up the numbers in the middle of the park. And the ball goes out on this near side and away for a throw-in. Louis Beaumorte and Ange Postecoglou both stalking the technical areas over on the far side. And Marco Silva, who is in touch with the bench, is watching on as Harry Wilson robs the ball. And there's space for De Cordova-Reid if he can feed him. He does on the edge of the penalty area. De Cordova-Reid slips as he pulls the trigger. And as a result of that, spoons the ball wide. What an opportunity for Fulham to retake the lead. Davinson Sanchez had a part to play in that. The ball picked up after a Tottenham throw-in went wrong over on the far side. Wilson dived in, took the ball diagonally towards the danger zone, fed De Cordova-Reid, but he slipped at the final moment.
Well, what a mix-up between Ben Davies and Oliver Skipp on the halfway line. Fulham counter, and they should be back ahead. Davinson Sanchez does really well to get back and put in a challenge on Bobby De Cordova-Reid, but Harry Wilson laid it on a plate for him.
Yeah, he should have hit the target at least.
On the stretch he was, and he didn't need to be.
Well, they've won it back again inside Tottenham territory, Fulham, and that's been where they've been at their best when they've been doing that. They've just turned it on a little bit, and they've picked it up once again. Harrison Reed has been penalised for a foul on Richarlison. He doesn't think that he committed a foul, nor do the Fulham fans. The referee does. It's going to be a free kick. Once again, the ball was turned over, and it looked as if they were going to escape once more, but the referee has given the free kick in Tottenham's favour.
Last 5 minutes really chaotic. It's end to end. Both teams now looking to try and search and find a winner.
If we don't get a winner, we will go to penalties at 90 minutes here on Talksport 2. Here is Van der Ven playing the ball square to Davinson Sanchez. 1-1 the score on Talksport 2, with Fulham taking the lead after 19 minutes. The Richarlison equaliser came 11 minutes after half-time. Here is Dane Scarlett trying to get down the right side. Anthony Robinson does well, picks it off, turns it round, and Ream then sends it wide towards the left, and De Cordova-Reid takes it on, plays it further up the pitch. It's too heavy for Tom Kearney, and it runs out of play over on the far side, and again a promising attack breaks down. Frenetic, I think, is probably the right word, isn't it?
It's like a basketball game right now, end to end.
Skip picks it up, moves down the right corridor. He's got space in front of him for Scarlett to run into, try to feed him. Ream intercepted. It's picked up by Wilson and then played to the right-hand side. Tete with space to run into for Fulham. Charges over halfway now, but he needs support, and they're arriving too slowly. The cross comes in towards Muniz, who tries to put pressure on Sanchez. The ball spills to the far side, the left, and De Cordova-Reid gets there. Played infield to Harry Wilson. Wilson's eyeing up a shot. He plays it left instead. It was felled on the field of play by Richarlison. De Cordova-Reid has sent the cross in anyway. It's headed away by Van der Ven. It's dropped on the edge of the box. Palhinha trying to get there. Pushes Richarlison in the back. The referee says play on. Tete with a drive. Hits the defender. Comes out for a throw-in on this near side.
That's a foul. That is a foul.
It was an obvious foul.
On Richarlison, on the edge of the box. Richarlison got his body between the man and ball. Palhinha gives him a shove. He goes to ground, and referee's right in front of him as well.
1-1 the score. Talksport 2 on this Tuesday night in London, as the Tempo rises once again inside Craven Cottage and the noise levels go up too. Tom Kearney on the half turn tries to move the ball into a central area, has to twist away from Scarlett and Richarlison and plays it down towards the right. Kenny Tete looks up, delivers across, it's deep towards the far post. Decordova-Reid with a header, and it's saved down low by Forster, who gobbles it up. It was a good cross that from Tete from the wide right position. Delicious ball towards the far post, begging for someone to head it, and Decordova-Reid did just that, and it was stopped by the goalkeeper.
They have delivered some really good crosses, I've got to say, Fulham, from wide areas, and that one's for Muniz. He's been a real handful in the air, and no Mitrovic, but he looks like he can jump. But Decordova-Reid came in at the far post because Emerson Royale had done a decent job actually on Muniz on that occasion. It was a better effort than his last one a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, it took a little flick off Davinson Sanchez, and if that flick had been slightly more significant, maybe Forster would have been wrong-footed, and that would have been a real problem for the goalkeeper. Son about to come on for Tottenham Hotspur, and another change
as well, I think.
Yeah, so they're going to try and stiffen up the midfield. I would have thought that maybe Oliver Skipp, having received a booking, would be the one that makes way, but it might well be Højbjerg. But there might be a triple change here incoming for Tottenham, who want to try and go on and win this match and don't want to take any chances in doing so. And Son is definitely going to be the first substitute. Details on replacements incoming. Polinia sends it round towards Reid. Reid's in an offside position when he dabs the ball back across the face of the halfway line. And we get a chance to witness our substitutions. And the first substitutions is going to be Perisic, who's coming off for Son. That's going to be the first one. And he'll get the captain's armband as well. He succeeded Hugo Lloris as the captain of Tottenham did the South Korean. That will be the first change. And then there'll be one in midfield, perhaps Sarr. I'm just trying to find out who it is over on the far side. Who else is getting changed? That Kulusevski as well is getting stripped and ready for action. It might be another attacking change for Tottenham Hotspur, who want to go on and try and win the game. Might be Manor Solomon who ends up being hooked off over on the far side. Wolves 4-0 up against Blackpool now, and Matt Doherty has got a double, former Ireland international, current Ireland international I would imagine. Ball sent forward through the middle of the pitch and Perisic is chasing, but Kenny Tete is going to get there first. Wins the ball, referee says play on, and the ball spills to the left and Perisic has still got it, takes it towards the byline, then cuts back in on his right, then out on his left, and then wrestles with Kenny Tete. Kenny Tete just says, actually, in the end, I'm a little bit stronger than you are, and I'm going to take it off you. He pulls Perisic back. Perisic pulls him back, and a free kick is given, and then Perisic gets the hook from the manager Ange Postecoglou.
Evidence there that the Tottenham goal might not have happened if Kenny Tete had been on the pitch, because Perisic picks that ball up, but Tete is so tight to him, not allowing him to deliver the ball into the area and cross it. Decordova-Reid, when he was there, allowed him to come inside and easily pick out that ball to Richarlison at the far post, but Tete is like a rash, he's so tight to him.
It might be something that Ollie Klink asks Marco Silva after the game. If it's Marco Silva he gets to speak to, it might well be Louis Mo Morta that he has to talk to tonight. Richarlison is off as well. He goes off and he's replaced by Dejan Kulusevski. So Son is on and Kulusevski is on. Skip gives him the armband as a result of that. And the one other change is going to be Pap Sarr coming on for, I think, it might be Højbjerg actually, because he's looking over at the bench nervously. It's not, it's Oliver Skipp, as we initially thought, who's coming off, and Pap Sarr, who scored that goal against Manchester United and played well in that game as well, comes on. And Tottenham have made now 4 changes. And they've got some of the big guns on them. They Son, Kulusevski, and 2 players who definitely have goals in them. Pap Sarr is now one of their first choice midfielders, and they want to win this game. They do not want to go out at this stage of the competition.
And Solomon's come over to the left hand side now instead of Perisic, which I think he prefers as well. He's going to come inside. Kulusevski on the right hand side, and Son's gone up top with Scarlett.
And Kulusevski over on the right hand side, Scarlett playing as a central striker with Son, as the ball is cleared by Fulham, with Kearney picking it up over on the far side. Luton 3-1 up against Gillingham now, and Birmingham now 2-0 down at home against Cardiff City. Ryan Winter with the second goal for Cardiff. And here's Kenny Tete playing it infield, finding Reid across to Harry Wilson, who travels up towards the edge of the Tottenham penalty area. Wide on the right is Tete once again. 73 on the clock. Wilson, Reed, into Wilson again. A lovely ball. He shoots towards the near post. It's saved by the goalkeeper Forster and smuggled away by Tottenham. Lovely little interchange between Kearney and Wilson on the edge of the penalty area. Delicious little interchange between those two very creative players. Reed was involved with it as well, but Wilson certainly the architect and almost the finisher of that move.
One touch give and go from Harry Wilson, absolutely brilliant. Gets himself into the area. It's a fabulous block actually from Davinson Sanchez, but he needs to lift it. He's gone along the floor, and Davinson Sanchez is able to make the challenge.
Someone on the Tottenham bench has got a yellow card. I think that will be attributed to Ange Postecoglou, even if it is to someone behind him on the bench. But he's having a word with the fourth official. A yellow card has been given in the direction of the bench, and I think the manager has to take responsibility for that. How many is he up to now? Here is Diop.
Ask Izzy. She's good with maths.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she's giving me that sign again. It might just be his first, I think. Here is Diop. Infield towards Tim Ream, who plays it wide towards the left, and Anthony Robinson, who in the left wing position produces a cross. It's not a great bit of defending by Davinson Sanchez, who was off balance as he tried to clear it. It comes back towards the goalkeeper, who does clear upfield, but Fulham actually have turned the temperature up once again. It's Tete getting it back to Diop. Oh, it's a poor ball forward. He's got lucky and he's managed to send it forward towards Tom Kearney, but it was a poor ball initially by him. And then Decordova-Reid is wrestling with Pap Sarr, and the ball breaks to the far side, the right, and then Paulinho leaves a little bit on Emerson Royale. It's going to be a free kick.
Yeah, it has. The tempo's gone up again, hasn't it? The last 5-10 minutes or so. It is end to end. I wouldn't like to call a winner. 15 minutes to go, just over 15 minutes to go. I wouldn't like to say who's going to get this winner.
Especially with comebacks all over the place. Birmingham City 1, Scott Hogan with a goal. Cardiff City 2, and we already know about Crystal Palace's 3 goals in 4 minutes, which have turned the tide down at home park. They lead by 3 goals to 2. Wilson trying to scoot away from Vicky van der Ven, and he's a little bit late on Wilson, and he's going to get a yellow card. Here is the Dutchman. He was looking to escape over the halfway line. It's definitely not a denial of a goal-scoring opportunity, and he wasn't the last man, and he's miles away from the goal, so there's no chance of a red, despite the fact that the Fulham fans are screaming for that, but it's probably going to be a yellow card.
I'm sure that's going to be a yellow card. I'd be very surprised if it was any more than that. Harry Wilson on the stretch just lifts it over the left foot of Mickey van der Ven, who catches the Welshman, and there it is, yellow card.
Second player to go in the referee's notebook after Oliver Skipp, who's been substituted. I said I wasn't going to predict any outcomes because of the nature of the competition means there's always a comeback, but I will say that Stoke City are probably through to round 3. They're 6-1 up now against Rotherham United. Mehdi Leris with the goal with 18 minutes remaining. Wrexham 1, Bradford City 1. William Boyle with the goal to equalise for Ryan Reynolds and Ron McElhenney's team at the Racecourse ground tonight. And here it's 1 apiece with 15 minutes to go. There'll be penalty shootouts galore up and down the country, I think, tonight, as it usually is at this stage of the competition. And that's why I think it's become such a fun competition at this stage, Matt.
Yeah, I quite like it, really.
Yeah, it's great.
Be able to get my early train home.
Here's Reed, unless it's 2020 in the penalties. Reed delivers the ball towards the far post. It's Nunez who's trying to retrieve it, goes out of play and away for a throw-in to Tottenham in the right full-back position. It was over-hit and it goes out for a throw-in to Tottenham Hotspur. I think another substitution that's going to be made here. Yeah, over on the far side. And that is the end of the night for Bobby Decordova-Reid. And on comes Andreas Pereira, who scored after 57 seconds in the game at the Emirates at the weekend. Decordova-Reid, who could have had a goal, might have changed the course of history with that goal. Slipping just as he was fed by Harry Wilson. Now his night's work is done. Harrison Reed is off as well, and he is going to be replaced over on that far side. Luke Harris is coming on, or is it Sasha Lukic, sorry, who's coming off over on that far side. Can't quite see, I think it's Luke Harris actually. Luke Harris, the 18-year-old, his 6th appearance for Fulham, coming in for Harrison Reed for the final quarter of an hour of the game. So a few changes from Marco Silva as well to try and add a little bit more creativity. Andreas Pereira will certainly do that. There's quite a bit of creativity on the field of play now, just a one holding midfielder.
Yeah, and fresh legs as well for both sides. both doing their best to try and find this winner if they can.
Looks like Bournemouth have got a winner down at the Swansea.com stadium. Ryan Christie has scored the goal after 91 minutes. It's Swansea 2, Bournemouth 3. The Premier League side went behind in that game and now look as if they're going to emerge into the next round of the competition. Who's going to join them from this game? Tottenham have the ball on the edge of their own penalty area. Davinson Sanchez sends it out wide towards the right-hand side. It's collected by Emerson Royale into Kulusevski, who nudges it into the right corridor, looking for Son or Kulusevski to chase, but out comes Rodak, picks it up for Fulham and will clear it away upfield. Tottenham fans in fine voice away to our left-hand side, having made the short journey from North London, although I say that because in London no journey is short, unfortunately. There's quite a few stops down the Victoria line and then a switch onto the Piccadilly line. Get off at Hammersmith and walk quite some way from Hammersmith Station. Here is Anthony Robertson exchanging passes with Pereira, far side, the Fulham left, coming forward with 11 minutes to go. Pereira moves infield, clips the ball into a dangerous area, but it's not dangerous enough because it's too close to Fraser Forster, who comes out, takes a couple of steps, gobbles it up and will clear. Yeah,
not quite the same impact from the start as it was against Arsenal at the weekend. He's already been on more than 56 seconds.
No, there wasn't a big gap left by Thomas Partey, though, for him to run into, was there? Or a back pass from Bukayo Saka, which fed him in that game. As Fulham went one in front very early in that match. Arsenal sort of developed a habit of going behind early doors, haven't they, in games at the Emirates Stadium. Tottenham just being pushed back by Fulham in the closing stages of this game. Here is Van der Ven into Højbjerg, looks up, needs a bit of movement in front of him. Solomon is dropped to the left and Son's just dropped into the 10 position, picks it up, sent it wide. Emerson Royale joining in. It's gone wide towards that right-hand side and Kulusevski, collected by Papsar, and then it's on to Højbjerg, who's 10 yards outside the Fulham penalty area, dead central. Out wide to the left it goes. It's Solomon back into Højbjerg once again. He looks up, looking for a bit of movement through the middle of the pitch, but he's too slow to deliver it. Goes wide to the left and Solomon, and then joining him is Ben Davies. He's asking a lot of him to get across, and he does that. It's over Son's head, comes through to the edge of the and it's a handball by Papsar. Well, everyone else saw it, apart from the bloke who was 5 yards away from him, and the referee didn't give the free kick.
He has been so lenient tonight. There's been a number of challenges he could easily have given a yellow card for, and that was as clear a handball as you're going to see.
Cardiff down to 10 men, 78 minutes on the clock when Tom Vincent gets a second yellow. Reading 1, Ipswich 2. Here is Solomon into the penalty area. Right footed shot saved down to his left by Rodak. It was bending from the right foot of Solomon from the edge of the penalty area, arcing in at the far post. Rodak read it and just about pushed it away.
Well, I think he palmed it into the path of Dane Scarlett. It comes off him last and goes for a goal kick. But this is what I'm talking about, Manor Solomon on this left-hand side, cutting in on his right foot, allowed to do it. Rodak at full stretch does get a save and palms it into the path of Dane Scarlett, but it comes at him so quickly he's unable to react, and out it goes for a goal kick.
Tom Kearney's got a problem. He's down and he needs attention. He may well need to be substituted here in the 80th minute of the match. He's gone down asking for treatment. They provided it, but that was a very good chance that for the right-footed Manor Solomon. I can give you some breaking news, and that is Erling Haaland has won the PFA Player of the Year award for 2023, and the Young Player of the Year award has gone to Bukayo Saka.
No surprise.
Not really. They never used to announce it in August, did they?
No, I mean, it's strange. I don't know why they've done that this time around. But the Player of the Year do in August. It always used to be in April, didn't it? April.
Yeah. Rachel Daly's won the PFA Women's Player of the Year award for a terrific season at Aston Villa last year. Lauren James, Young Player of the Year. No surprise about that. And that doesn't really take into consideration their performances at the World Cup either. James Maddison's coming on. They certainly want to win the game. They may well need him to take a penalty. Michael McIntyre is causing a bit of attention in the cottage. It's a bit like, you know, when Cliff Richard used to stand up at Wimbledon and do a bit of a turn. Michael McIntyre started doing the same thing.
Just give him a mic, let him tell a few jokes.
He's doing it now. He's doing Instagram videos. Oh, he's winding up the Tottenham fans.
Yeah.
He's a big Fulham fan, isn't he, Michael McIntyre? And he's giving the Tottenham fans a bit, and they're giving him a little bit back, and he's on his phone videoing that. You're sure to see that on social media a little bit later on. Tom Kenny coming off. They're going to make a change for the final few moments. Raul Jimenez who's going to come on. It is Raul Jimenez, yet to score a Fulham goal, coming on for the final 8 minutes of the game. There'll be at least 2 minutes of added time. Elsewhere tonight, it looks like Southampton, Crystal Palace going to come back from 2 goals down to beat Plymouth away from home. Ipswich, through Freddie Ladapo, have got in front against Reading in an 8 o'clock kickoff. Bournemouth, despite going behind, are going to go through against Swansea City, and this one at the moment is going to be decided by penalties. Sheffield Wednesday lead Mansfield. Stoke have beaten Rotherham, or will be beaten Rotherham. Leicester beating Tranmere away from home, and Wolves 4-0 up against Blackpool. Around the ground on Talksport at this moment of time with Adrian Durham, as we're back underway with James Maddison on, and he scurries towards the near corner, and the ball goes out of play and away for a Fulham throw.
Yeah, so he's on for Manor Solomon, and it's Son that's come out now to the left-hand side, with Maddison playing in just in behind Dane Scarlett up top.
More conventional from Tottenham, what we expect to see from them.
Yeah, absolutely. And Maddison obviously is such a key player for them. Hasn't got long to try and alter the course of this game.
Bournemouth are through. They've beaten Swansea by 3 goals to 2. Jean-Philippe Mateta has scored another goal. 83 minutes on the clock. Crystal Palace 4, Plymouth Argyle 2. Pretty impressive second half showing from Crystal Palace. Here on this near side is Luke Harris for Fulham Football Club. At 1-1 the score. Switch from right to left by Kenny Tete. A high ball out towards Andreas Pereira, who chests the ball down. He's being chased by Emerson Royale, who had several nibbles at him before committing a foul. It was a bit clumsy, really, from Emerson Royale. And it's going to be a free kick deep inside Tottenham territory, and it's quickly taken, and Wilson's got it down the left side. He's moved into the area, tries to get across in. It's blocked by the defender, and he stops it from going out for a corner. It's actually a throw-in over on the far side after a good reaction from Emerson Royale.
Yeah, quick thinking from Fulham to try and find Harry Wilson inside the penalty box.
1-1 the score. Ball thrown in from the far side. Anthony Robinson tosses it back towards Tim Ream, tries to get it across to Diop forward into Harris, who swings it wide out to Tete. Tete approaches the penalty area. Fulham on the attack. Any goal now, I'm sure, will be a winner for either of these two teams as we reach the last 5 minutes of the match in the Carabao Cup second round. Pap Sarr takes it on and motors through the midfield, then hits it straight at Pereira, and it's won back by Fulham, who have the ball inside their own half. It's quickly released out towards Luke Harris, and then it's cleared away, and then it's up on this near side. The ball is out on the left. It's with Son. Son tries to take the ball towards the edge of the penalty area. He cuts infield and lays it into the middle, and then it's sent across to Davinson Sanchez on the far side, but it breaks down very quickly, and it's sent out towards the far touchline, and across come Anthony Robertson, and the cross is too deep, far too deep and too hefty, and it goes behind and away and out for a goal kick. That was a bit of a waste.
It was a lot of a waste. He had so much time and space. He's doing everything at 100 miles an hour and just needs to slow down to deliver the cross to the far post. Jimenez waiting, Harry Wilson also there as well. Just tried to do that on the run too quickly.
Tyrese Francois has come on, the Australian product of the youth system here. First appearance in the first team, though, since last August, wearing number 35, a diminutive little midfield player. He's in the heart of the Fulham midfield for the last few moments of this game. Here's a chance for Son to break. Kulusevski has won it on halfway, fed him and sent it down the left. He's into the penalty area. He approaches the edge of the 6-yard box, but dillied and dallied and had the ball pinched by Tim Ream. And then Kenny Tete runs it out towards the near side and gives it straight to Maddison. Maddison beats one player, then a second, gets to the byline, puts it through the 6-yard box. It goes behind everybody. It's met on the far side by Emerson Royale, who blasted over the top of the crossbar. What a chance for Tottenham. And they're complaining because there was an injury to Polinia on the halfway line. The referee didn't stop it. He allowed play to continue. Tottenham went on the attack. Son fashioned one. He gave the ball away to Tim Ream. Then they gave it back to James Maddison. He set up a great chance inside the penalty area. No one with a killer instinct to pull the trigger. And then when Royale did pull the trigger, he blasted it so far over the top of the crossbar, it was never really any trouble for Marek Rodek.
Got dancing feet from James Maddison.
Oh, look at that. Paulinia's bleeding from the mouth, and he's saying to the assistant on this near side, how can you not see that?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't see it. I've got to be honest. I was watching the Tottenham move going forward, and it's not far from us either.
And we can see it quite clearly that he has received a blow to his face.
Yeah.
And it's quite clear that he's unhappy with the assistant on this near side, who actually is very close to it. And he's upset, is João Palhinha, as Brentford go 1-0 up away at Newport County. Matthias Jensen with what looks like being an 87th minute winner. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Mansfield Town 1 in the 85th minute. Reece Oates with a goal which could take that to penalties. Tim Ream again with another really good interception. His reading of the game has certainly improved over the last 2 or 3 years.
He's been excellent tonight again. And fans love him here.
Wolverhampton Wanderers 5-0 up. Nathan Fraser with the goal. 84 minutes on the clock. One of the youngsters that were in the squad tonight. I don't know if that's him, but there was a youngster in the Wolves squad who was only 15 years of age.
Yeah, and just 15.
Just 15, yeah. Actually, school doesn't start for a couple of weeks, so he's probably got away with it. Down the right-hand side, Kulusevski is looking to get on the end of a ball which is played towards him by Sanchez. It was overhit and it goes out of play and it's away for a goal kick over on the far side. A throw-in over on the far side, level with the edge of the penalty area. 1-1 the score, 2 minutes to go. Everyone's going to start thinking about penalties now.
They certainly are. That's where we're heading. You should see which end they're taken. There's how many thousands of Tottenham fans away to our left-hand side. They'll be hoping it's that end.
Nathan Fraser is not the young 15-year-old. Here is Dane Scarlett, 19 years of age, trying to burst in after a mistake by the Fulham defence, but he doesn't get there, Rodak does. Goal was up in front of him and will clear away.
The starting position has been excellent tonight, Rodak. There's a few times that Tottenham have tried to play that ball in behind, but he's been really quick to get out and smother.
Ball out towards the far touchline and looking for Raul Jimenez, who pokes it on and gets it back again and then sends it infield. Luke Harris can send it out towards the right. Harry Wilson in the last minute inside the penalty area, draws the goalkeeper, pokes it toward him. It's saved by Forster down low in front of the post. Another good chance for Fulham to go on and win the game. They've had several.
Yeah, they have. And Harry Wilson, more often than not you expect him to score. Got to say, that's brilliant goalkeeping from Fraser
Robinson
Forster.
Into the box, a good charge forward by him. His cross isn't perfect this time and it drifts behind.
That was an excellent save from Fraser Forster. Made himself big. Harry Wilson, it's really, he takes it nicely on his right side and then flicks it with his left. Everyone's expecting him to hit it with his right, but because he goes for his left, I think it makes it a more difficult save for Fraser Forster. Unconventional, really, going with that left foot, but he smothers it, comes out and he's big and he saves it with his legs. Excellent goalkeeping.
Son takes it towards the corner flag on the left-hand side. He's about a yard in from the left touchline. He gives it back to Ben Davies. Tottenham on the attack here, 10 yards short of the penalty area. Højbjerg waits again, takes too long to deliver his ball forward. When he does, it goes out to the right side and they're crowded out of it. There's going to be 7 minutes of added time at the end of the 90. And here's Kulusevski into the penalty area, trying to tuck it back towards Scarlett, who twists and turns and plays it against the defender. It's out for a corner to Tottenham.
Yeah, 7 minutes added on. Great work from Kulusevski. Quick feet, skipping into the box. Tries to find Dane Scarlett, but it's smothered away for another corner. And both sides are pushing hard, trying to find this winner.
They certainly are. And maybe not too enamoured by the prospect of penalties, which is incoming. And we're into the first of 7 minutes. Madison with the delivery into the box. It goes over everyone's head, comes to Højbjerg, who shoots. He cuts across the ball. It was a terrible finish. Didn't catch it at all well. Not an easy finish to execute, but he got right across the ball and it flicked off his boot and into the Putney end away to our left-hand side.
Well, it's not an easy finish, and it's certainly not an easy one on your weaker foot. It's his left side. He just watches it all the way, and at the last minute just cuts across it, and it ends up sort of 15 yards over the top, 15 yards wide.
You've got to be super confident to take that on. I wonder whether or not it would have been better served bringing it down and trying to keep the ball in play as Pereira tries to get in behind Emerson Royale, just about nudges it back to his goalkeeper after a long kick downfield, and then he gets it back, Emerson Royale.
Tell you what I like as well about getting to added time, that the clock continues as well, so you know exactly where you're at in terms of the time added on.
And everyone does, don't
everyone
they?
Everyone knows around the ground.
It's usually just us sitting there with our silly stopwatches
exactly.
on, but now is a massive
but
clock
around the ground, everyone knows. We've got 7 minutes added on, and we're all looking at the clock now, 91, 36, 37, so everyone knows.
It's a new stipulation from the FA to do that wherever possible in the grounds. Ball sent in behind for Dane Scarlett to chase, but Anthony Robinson just decided, I need to get back here. He was about 3 yards behind Dane Scarlett. He put his foot on the accelerator and then just buzzed past him.
I still think he was only in second gear.
It's Kulusevski down the right-hand side. The ball's broke down, it's in midfield. Oh, that was a really dicey challenge from Sarr, but he didn't make contact, and he was lucky he didn't make contact, because I think he would have been in trouble if he had done. The ball eventually goes to Pereira, who sends it long, and there's no one to pick the ball up. But that was a very aggressive challenge from Pap Sarr. Got to be a little bit careful, especially on nights like this when your momentum can see you travel across the ground at rapid speed because of the greasy conditions. Here is Polinia with no number on his back now. Fits in with the Tottenham players travelling on the far side because of the blood injury that he had. He's been challenged. The ball's out of play. It's away for a throw-in. This is when you start, I think, some of the players start to think about penalties. I'm sure that Fraser Forster and Marek Rodak will fancy their chances. You've got a chance to be the hero.
Yeah, you are. You are starting to think about it now. You know it's that close. And you're starting to think about your technique, where you're going to put it.
Pascal Strike has scored for Leeds, 1-1 at Salford. Luton Town 3, Gillingham 2. Tom Nichols with the goal. And that one's on a knife edge as well at Kenilworth Road. That's where Adrian is tonight. 93 minutes gone. We've got 7 minutes of added time here. This one on a knife edge. Is it going to go to penalties? It looks that way at this moment in time. Rodak forward, out towards the near side. Tenny Tete takes it down. He sends it forward. It's out towards the right side and Raul Jimenez. And then on to Harry Wilson, who's made an impact in the game. Luke Harris holds onto it well. Right side of the penalty area. They're attacking Fulham. Into the box it goes. Jimenez with a header over the top of the crossbar. He rose well, but he was too close really to get the header down and on target. And when it came in, he was just probably hanging a little bit too high. The ball hit him on his head. It went over the top of the bar.
That's a chance. I think that's another good chance. They've done it really well tonight. Fulham. I've talked about it a lot. Crosses into the box. And Jimenez gets across that near post, gets across his marker, gets a glancing header. I think you're a little bit disappointed that he hasn't hit the target.
It's almost hit his face, actually, hasn't it? Poor kick out by Forster, given away to Harry Wilson. And it's tidied up by Højbjerg, who had to do the dirty work. That's deflected into the path of Dane Scarlett, who for Tottenham Hotspur scurries away over the halfway line, feeds the ball on the edge of the area to Maddison, who gets knocked over by João Polinia, and it's a free kick in Maddison territory.
He'll fancy this. Well, I mean, what is he? 23, 24 yards out, right in the middle of the goal. He does do that so well. Picks up that ball and has got so many bodies around him, and yet just keeps a hold of it. There's a little nudge in the back. He feels that contact, goes to ground, and it's a great position now for Tottenham.
Well, they were 1-0 down in this game. And James Maddison's name being sung from behind the goal away to our left-hand side. 1-0 down.
It's right in the middle, so he's got that ability, hasn't he, to go either side now.
And what's he going to do from here? Can he make it 2-1 with less than 2 minutes to play? James Maddison, we've seen him convert from this sort of situation on many an occasion for Leicester City. He scored his first goal this weekend for Tottenham Hotspur. He's got quite a big wall to try and negotiate with Issa Diop alongside João Polinia. There's a draft excluder down there as well in Andreas Pereira. It's quite a tall wall to try and get the ball up and over. Kulusevski standing over it too, but it's going to be Maddison who hits it, right-footed, and it's straight into that wall, and it's cleared away. Kulusevski back out to the wide right, and on to Emerson Royale, but then they pinch the ball, and now it's a chance to attack, and they're running forward at rapid speed here, and it's played out towards the right-hand side, and Van de Ven is going to get sent off, surely. Oh, he's given the yellow card the other way, he's given the foul the other way. Well, everybody inside this ground of a Fulham persuasion thought that was a foul by Van de Ven, and there was going to be a yellow card, and Van de Ven was going to be sent off.
I'll tell you what, this is a brilliant counter from Fulham. What I will say is, James Maddison does superbly well, does brilliantly well. He chases back, it's his free kick. Spurs then give the ball away. But he doesn't just stand there and admire it, James Maddison. He's chasing back and does make a challenge in the middle of the field, just made it a more difficult pass out to Raul Jimenez. The incident itself looks as though it probably should have been a foul the other way.
It's the referee on. Here's Son down the left-hand side, trying to get towards the byline. Produces a cross, it's blocked by Tete, and it's out for a corner. In the last few seconds of the game, this is it. This is the game right here. A corner in the 97th minute of the match in the Carabao Cup second round. Tottenham were 1-0 down. It's now 1-1. They've got an opportunity from a Maddison delivery to try and win the cup tie. Maddison to take it in front of the Tottenham Hotspur supporters. Sends it right-footed in towards the near post. It's glanced towards goal. It's headed away by Tim Ream and cleared out on this near side. Kulusevski back to Maddison, who's onside. Gets into a crossing position. Right-footed into the box. Away by Harry Wilson and into the air. And there's the full-time whistle. And we will indeed have penalty kicks to decide who goes through to the next round of the competition. It was a brilliant game. Great fun. Super entertainment right to the very end. And now a chance to go through to the next round via spot kicks. Matt Holland.
Enthralling game. Fascinating, enjoyable, high tempo, high intensity. Fulham the better side in the first half. Tottenham the better side in the second half. A draw, a fair result. Penalties to decide the game.
Well, there's a lot of pressure on those takers, a lot of pressure on those goalkeepers. But one of these two teams is going to perish. But it's going to be a Premier League scalp either way. And Richarlison's equalising goal not enough to help Tottenham mount a comeback that sees them through to the next round. In fact, actually, arguably, the better chances came to Fulham in that second half. When you think of the Reed slip, the Wilson chances, and the header from Jimenez, they probably should have got it done in 90 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's true. But I would say I think Tottenham stepped it up in the second period. Made a few subs who had an impact. Right from the off, it was a different attitude from Tottenham in that second period. They were at Fulham. The only thing is Kenny Tete off the pitch when that goal was scored. That would be the frustration from Fulham's point of view, because he defended so well down that right hand
Let's just
side.
explain to people what happened. There was a collision inside the box with Dane Scarlett and Kenny Tete. Kenny Tete felt that he was fouled in that motion. He got up, showed that his boot had been removed and ripped in the action that Dane Scarlett challenged him. He then had to go and run behind the goal and into the tunnel away to our left-hand side to go and get a spare pair of boots, because there wasn't anybody else available to go and get them for him. Whilst he was doing that, the ball went down the left-hand side. Decordova-Reid was filling in for him at right back. The cross came in from Perisic. Richarlison scored.
Well, Perisic had no joy throughout the game against Kenny Tete. Every time he picked up the ball, Kenny Tete was all over him like a rash. He wasn't allowed to get his head up, couldn't deliver the cross into the box. When Bobby Decordova-Reid's marking him, he's dropped off, he's 3 or 4 yards off him. It gives him the time and the ability to deliver that ball into the air, and it's Richarlison that nods it in from a couple of yards out at the far post. But if Kenny Tete was on the pitch, I'm not sure that cross comes in.
Let me go through the scoreline elsewhere in the Carabao Cup second round tonight. Bournemouth are through. They went behind to Swansea, but they came back and won by 3-2. Cardiff are about to go through. They're in the 8th minute of stoppage time. They lead by 3-1 away at Birmingham. Bolton 1, Middlesbrough 3. They're in the 96th minute there. Middlesbrough look as if they're going to go through. Norwich are through. They've beaten Bristol City by 1-0. Exeter 1, Stevenage 1. There's something happening in that game. That looks as if that's going to penalties. Luton 3, Gillingham 2. Newport Brentford's gone to penalties. Plymouth 2, Crystal Palace 4. Port Vale Crew has gone to penalties. Portsmouth 1, 10-man Peterborough 1. That's going to penalties. Sheffield Wednesday 1, Mansfield 1. It's actually already 1-1 on penalties. Stoke are through. They've beaten Rotherham rather easily, 6-1 for the second time this season. They've played them twice. They've scored 10 goals against them so far. Can we play you every week? That'll be a t-shirt down at the Bet365 Stadium, won't it? Leicester City beat Tranmere by 2-0. Wolves 5-0 winners at home against Blackpool, including a goal for 18-year-old Irishman Nathan Fraser. Wrexham 1, Bradford 1. That's gone to penalties. Wickham 0, Sutton 1. Reading look like they're going out. There's still 9 minutes of their game left with Ipswich, but Ipswich lead by 2-1. And Leeds have come from behind to level things up at Salford. It's 1-1 there with 4 minutes to go. We're concentrating on the action here because it's penalty kicks. Who do you favour?
Neither. Honestly, you can't really have a favour. I think the penalties are going to be taken at the Fulham end. I think the Fulham supporters.
Yeah, they are.
So maybe that just gives them a slight edge.
Well, there's some key penalty takers on the pitch for Tottenham, I think, which is important. Kulusevski, Son. You'd expect those players to be Maddison, to be confident penalty takers.
And the other thing is, it looks like Fulham are taking the first one, and the teams that take the first penalty kick have a better record. So the fact that it's at the Fulham end, Fulham are taking the first penalty, then you'd probably say that they just about are the favourites.
So Fulham taking the first penalty, and Andreas Pereira is going to be the one to take it away to our right in front of the Hammersmith end. 6'7", Fraser Forster looks an imposing figure away to our right, and he is dominating the goal. The Fulham fans behind it barracking him. This just take the lead in the shootout to be the first player to net. Andreas Pereira, the Brazilian who scored at the weekend from open play, steps up, right-footed, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and nonchalantly puts it in the back of the net. And it's 1-0 to Fulham.
Well, that's as cool as you like from Andreas Pereira. A couple of steps and then just coolly slots it into the corner that Fraser Forster's departed.
Next up, the Tottenham captain, Son Heung-min. 14 goals last season, which was his lowest return since his first season at Spurs. He hasn't scored yet this campaign, and he's taking a little bit of time to approach the penalty area, rub the ball dry, place it on the spot, and the Fulham fans causing a distraction behind the goal. Rodak wobbles on his line. He looks a little bit Bruce Grobbelaar-esque in the way he's wobbling as Son steps up, right-footed. He goes the right way, Rodak, but he can't stop it. It's a fired penalty beyond his body, and it ripples the back of the net. It's 1-1.
Yeah, low and hard, skipped off the surface. Plenty of pace on that from Son. Decent penalty. Goalkeeper guessed the right way, but there's enough pace on the ball to beat him.
Well, Jimenez, who played well at the weekend, his last goal in this competition was for Wolves in January. In fact, it was his last goal all told was in this competition for Wolves against Nottingham Forest in the quarter-final last year. He steps up to take the penalty for Fulham. It's a long run-up, it's a straight run-up from the Mexican, who then arcs his run-up and steps up right-footed and then slots it so calmly and beautifully beyond Fraser Forster, who got nowhere near it. 2-1.
And does exactly what Pereira did. A stuttering run-up and then almost a standing pass into the bottom right-hand corner with Fraser Forster diving the other way. Cool penalty.
That was a really cool penalty for a player who hasn't scored for a very long time. That was pretty damn cool from the Mexican. And now it's the turn of the Swedish international, Dejan Kulusevski, 23 years of age, pink boots on. He steps up left-footed and rams it into the corner as Rodak goes to his left. The ball goes to his right, and it's a brilliant penalty from Dejan Kulusevski. It's 2-2.
4 penalties taken, 3 times the goalkeeper's gone the wrong way. The only time he's guessed right was Son's, but there's enough power on that to beat him. Good standard of penalties up to this point.
Yeah, Harry Wilson, and now we'll take it. I suppose with the threat of penalties looming so large in this competition, you have to get better at practicing them, because you're more than likely than not going to negotiate a shootout at some point during the season. Wilson to take it for Fulham, their third spot kick, left-footed. He drives it against the underside of the bar and into the net. And he was a little bit fortunate there, because there were one or two thinking that was going to come straight back out. He hit that so hard that even if Forster had got anywhere near it, he wasn't stopping it.
His heart would have been in his mouth. But that is quite simply an unstoppable penalty. There's not a goalkeeper in the world that would keep that out.
I think it's Davinson Sanchez who has emerged as the next penalty taker. Well, we can't quite see from here, but it does look as if Davinson Sanchez is going to take it. He's going to step up right-footed against the goalkeeper, and he's saved down low to his left by Rodak. And Davinson Sanchez is the first to blink. The third Tottenham penalty is stopped by Rodak, and it's advantage Fulham.
Well, I was about to say, it's the first defender to take a penalty. Everyone else that's taken one is a forward-thinking player. And Davinson Sanchez just tries to side-foot it to Rodak's left, but he guesses right.
He's furious, and Son's had to come and get him and make sure he's okay. Emerson Royale was alongside him as well to pull him back, but it's going to be Palhinha to give them a 2-goal cushion. He steps up, the Portuguese, right-footed, slams it into the net, and Fulham are 4-2 up. And now Tottenham Hotspur and James Maddison have to score in order to stay in the competition.
And Fulham's standard of penalties has been excellent. They've sent the goalkeeper the wrong way, 3 out of the 4, and Wilson's was unstoppable.
James Maddison, Tottenham's new vice-captain, Tottenham's best player at the weekend, Tottenham's big summer signing, wearing Harry Kane's number 10 shirt. Can he convert a penalty to keep them in the competition? He places the ball down, takes a couple of steps back, he runs up to the ball, right-footed, rifles it into the net, as cool as you like, and then stares out the Fulham fans that were barracking him just moments ago.
He's born confident, James Maddison. He's born for those type of moments. He just believes in himself. He believes that he belongs at the highest level. Cool as you like, had to score and does.
Has a little word with Kenny Tete as he passes the ball over to the Fulham right back. Kenny Tete with the chance to win this for Fulham. Everybody knows inside this ground, if he puts this ball beyond Fraser Forster, Fulham go through, and the route to silverware closes for Ange Postecoglou at the first hurdle. It's Tete who steps out right-footed and scores. Sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, sends Tottenham out of the Carabao Cup. At the weekend, Ange Postecoglou was the new hero. Robbie Williams was singing about them. But tonight at Fulham, after a penalty shootout, Tottenham have come undone. The winning penalty stroked home by Kenny Tete, and Marco Silva's team are through to the third round of the FA Cup, and Tottenham Hotspur are now in a position where there are only 2 trophies that they can possibly win, and one of them is almost certainly out of reach. Defeat for Tottenham on penalties, and victory for Marco Silva and Fulham.
Well, it's Kenny Tete's new boot. He ran off for that one. 4 out of the 5 penalties, they've sent Fraser Forster the wrong way. Harry Wilson's crashed off the bar, and it's an unstoppable penalty for any goalkeeper. And Kenny Tete, with all the pressure, had to score to see his side through. Doesn't feel the pressure. Side foots it to Fraser Forster's left as Fraser Forster dives to his right. Rodak the hero because he made the save from Davinson Sanchez. But yeah, Kenny Tete enjoying the moment. He's the match winner.
He is, and as a result of that, Fulham win the shootout by 5 goals to 3 after a 1-1 draw at Craven Cottage on a night where Wolverhampton Wanderers have won, Sutton have won, and there's a huge victory for Stoke City against Rotherham. Port Vale beaten Crewe, and they're into, I think they've beaten them on penalties actually. Crystal Palace have beaten Plymouth, Luton have beaten Gillingham, Bournemouth have come back to beat Swansea. Port Vale have beaten Crewe on penalties by 2-0 after Crewe missed all 4 of their penalties. Sheffield Wednesday are out. Mansfield win on penalties. The League 2 team are into the third round at the expense of the Championship team. All going off over on Talksport at this moment in time. Coming up on Talksport 2 from 10 p.m. it's the Cricket Collective with Neil Manthorpe, Steve Harmison. But for now, let's join Adrian Durham and the host of reporters as we go through the final few stages of those penalty shootouts in the Carabao Cup.